Hello, everybody. How are we all this week? Who've we got on this week, guys? Get your names in the... Oh, Sam's in there straight away. Sammy V. We're all doing really, really good, Sammy. Thank you very much. Yes, the very first DMT webinar. And the reason I changed it to webinar 1 is because I've managed to tie Matt down to a second webinar, which is awesome. I've got Matt on here now. Before we go on and start chatting to a few of you guys, because we're going to let the room fill up, can we just test everybody's sound as well first, guys? So if Matt can test yours first, guys, just let me know you can hear Matt and that you can hear Keith.
How's it going? Give me one if you can hear me. Perfect.
Honest, we've got the ones in there. Give us a 2 for Keith. Go on, Keith, test your mic, mate.
Good evening, everybody. Put a 2 in if you can't hear me.
There we go. We got 1s, we got 2s. Nobody wants to hear me, so I'm not going to test mine. Right, so we've got Sam, we've got Dewey, we've got Stephen, we've got Hello Al from Dewey there. We've got Henrik, we've got Stephen Bucklehurst. You all right, Stephen? We've got Rob in there. God, we've got loads of people on tonight, guys. I'm getting yeses, 1s and 2s. super excited about this tonight. Basically, we've this is something we've been trying to put together for a while because we did a special presentation with Matt a few weeks back. It was a last minute thing, and I think it's broke our records for number of sales, definitely for a last minute webinar. And another record it's broke is it's the first presentation we've ever done where not one single person, not a single person has even mentioned a refund, never mind asked for one, which is anybody in this industry knows that doesn't happen. So Matt's a real straight up guy. He's very clever dude, and the stuff that he's been showing me is amazing, and it really is making a difference. And what we're going to do tonight, we're not going to go off a script. We've not put together a bunch of what do you call them, presentation slides. What we're going to do is I've put the 3 people who I think know MPP and DMT together the best together, and what we're going to do is we're literally going to go through. Matt's going to show us how he's setting up from the ground up with DMT, and then me and Keith are then going to intervene a little bit later on and try and help with how you'd integrate this properly with Magic Page plugin and explain why it would work so well for ranking, because it's all about understanding the fundamentals of it. It's all about understanding why the groundwork works and why we're going after Matt calls them the money pages. Now, the reason we go after the money pages is not just because they make the money, but they also generate a lot more traffic than the other pages. And a lot more traffic means a lot more visitors, means a lot more relevance, means a lot more people on your site, means better ranking, which means even more traffic, and so on and so forth. So going after it the way Matt does it, and then building it out the way we've taught you with MPP, which we're going to go through tonight, and then we might touch on the evergreen site model if we've got a bit of a chance at the end, is really going to help your pockets, it's going to help your business, and it's going to be awesome. I'm not going to keep waffling on too long. The room is starting to fill up. Matt, do you want me to pass this over to you? Are you ready to start? And I'll just shut up. And one last thing, guys.
Get stuck in.
One last thing. If you've got questions, I'm going to be monitoring the questions. And if there's a break in what Matt's doing and you don't understand something, pop your questions in. Make sure you put 2 or 3 question marks at the beginning of each question. And what that'll enable me to do is spot that it's a question, and then I'll stop Matt during when he's talking, and the same when Keith starts talking after Matt, or when I'm talking, do the same thing, and we'll try and stop and answer all your questions as we go, and then we'll go through anything you've got questions for at the end, if that's okay with everybody.
Give us a 5 if you're all happy.
Yeah, give us a 5.
Cool.
High 5.
Can you keep it under 4 hours? Not a chance. Maybe, mate. Yeah. I've put a bucket under my desk, so in case I need a toilet, I'm going nowhere. I am joking. I'm joking. It's a bottle. Yeah.
Just remember to mute.
Yeah.
Just remember.
Right, we are starting to fill up a little bit, guys. I'm pretty sure there'll be quite a few more coming in as we go, but I'll pass it over to you, Matt. I'll mute my mic, and we will. Let's just get going.
Awesome. Hey guys, great to be here. I will speak slow. I have drunk coffee the whole day, so if I start going too fast, please just pull in the reins, wave your hands, say, guys, slow down, please. I get excited and then I get into hyper mode. Okay, so let's start at the end in mind. Today's objective is we want to basically show you guys how we map out sites And what I've been speaking to the guys about for the last year is follow the money, follow the traffic. And the way we do this is we find targets that we look at, we extract what works for them, and then we incorporate those concepts into our own digital marketing plan. So when we built DMT, we designed the tool to be a toolbox. It's a toolbox that collates and fetches information for us very quickly. It gathers intel. With this intel, we can create one site, one master blueprint, and we can deploy it multiple places, multiple times. Give me a 1 if that works and it makes sense to what I just said there. Okay, so I'm going to start at the end in mind. We've got WordPress over here. I'm sure you guys know how to use WordPress, and these are the actual plugins we're using. We're using Elementor, Premium, head and footer code, Magic Page. I'm going to show you guys post snippets. This has got to do with content templates, and then obviously video silo builder. This is what we use to get all the information from DMT into WordPress. So you can see it's a very light build. We don't have a lot of plugins running. And with Elementor, we can plug into Active Campaign, which means our lead generation can happen basically automated. As things come in, we can have it go into Active Campaign. Active Campaign then can add the person to a list. When the person gets added to a list, a series of events can happen. It could get passed off as leads or whatever. Or you can use Mark's system with the lead generation, and we can just plug those codes in, and bang, we're away. So what I'll show you guys first is post snippets. Mark and Keith haven't seen this yet, but it's a super cool plugin. And what it allows you to do is essentially create a snippet. So you can see I've got my brand, my name, address, phone numbers, emergency phone numbers, call to actions, opening hours. The reason why I use post snippets is for the silo architecture on DMT side. Within Magic Page, you've got your own tokenization, which you can use that does similar things, right? But to get our details site-wide, I use the post snippets. And I'll give you an example of what we're doing there. So we've got brand name, and then there's my short codes, and I can put a little thing that spins inside there. So if we look at the name, address, phone number, I can put an address in, and you can have a phone number, HTML, call to action, we can put HTML or spin or whatever, and then obviously our opening hours, Monday to Friday. Now these shortcodes can get stuck anywhere in Elementor, and they will dynamically display stuff. So why do we use this, guys? Give me your thoughts why we use tokens, and I just want to see if you guys understand the reason for making shortcodes, custom shortcodes. So we've got replicate for any clients, speed and ability, keyword variety, creating templates, automation of posts. Exactly, you guys are in the right place. It's all got to do with content templates. It's all got to do with site-wide changes that we want to deploy. So we don't want to go update hundreds of pages. We want to update the shortcode and have it go do what it needs to do. What that does is it allows us to download, we can import or export what we set up over here. And what that means is for every single build, once you've built out your tokens, you simply export them out. You come to your next site, you import them in, and you have all your components that you can plug into your build. Give me a 3 if that makes sense. Okay, so everything about DMT is about saving us time, saving us money, right? If we can claw back our time, we can think longer and make smarter campaigns. If we tokenize and we build content templates with tokenization in them, we can deploy sites multiple times and just change certain things. So who knows why I'm telling you this? What's the reason for me telling you this up front? We'll be starting with the blog at the end. The reason why I'm telling you this is the biggest mistake I've seen guys make in the last decade of coaching and training guys in digital marketing is this. They keep on drilling and they keep on drilling and they keep on drilling. They're looking for golden eggs, but you're never going to find golden eggs, guys. All you're going to do is get an overlap every time you're drilling. When you understand that the language is language, you only need to have one keyword. You don't have to have it repeated 50, 60 times. So what happens is when people do market research, they tend to go dig in all kinds of places. What we've developed with DMT is a process that's very unique, very simple, very fast, and very efficient. What it does is it gives us the ability to target any competitor and extract the top pages and the top keywords that drive traffic to their sites. It also gives us the ability to go and do keyword research and extract the keywords from the top 5 ranking guys, as well as the keywords that are related or theme specific. Okay, so DMT is all about intel, it's all about efficiency, it's all about speed, it's all about finding the money, finding the traffic. When we got those things and we understand the language, when we map the language out and we're coming back to the WordPress to build, then it becomes more of a process of adding layers of language on top of each other. So when we map out the language to the URLs, we use the most important terms. When we come to running our content and optimizing our meta titles, we start putting our brands and our localizers into it. So what's cool about this whole setup is, I was telling Keith and the guys here that we sort of call this a hybrid build, where we're going to use magic page on the side. It's going to introduce the geographical, the contextual, and the thematical relevance to the site. And then with the silos that we build, whether we build 1, 2, or 17 silos, it doesn't matter. That's going to give our site a solid foundation, so it doesn't get shaken by the search engines every time things change. So we can have specific pages for specific things, and then we target the localization for lead gen. We basically unlock magic page and do 2 or 3 builds that makes the site get bigger and bigger and bigger over time. Give me 4 if that makes sense. Okay, so there's a question, what's DMT? DMT is Digital Marketers Toolbox. It's the tool I'm going to show you guys now. So let's jump into Digital Marketers Toolbox. Jump this side, yeah, that's right. So here we are in Digital Marketers Toolbox. I've logged in. I'll have to log in again. And what I've done to save time for you guys today is I've actually gone and built out 2 projects. But we're going to look at the one today. We're going to look at the shower repair market in the UK. So what I'm here on my dashboard now, and what I'm doing is I'm going down to the digital marketing blueprint process. So before we go forward, let me just show you a little roadmap of what we're going to do. We're going to log in and we're going to land on the dashboard. From the dashboard, we're going to click on our digital marketing blueprints. If the blueprint exists, we can simply click on it and we can do our competitive analysis, or we can actually go and do our keyword research, right? If it doesn't exist, we can create a blueprint. And when I speak about a blueprint, think about a folder or a box that contains all our project data. Give me a 2 if that makes sense. Now with DMT, when we do research, if we add a domain, it allows us to analyze the competitors, it analyzes all the keywords that they rank for, and it gives us the ability to analyze all their PPC ads if they're doing them. If we add keyword research, we're basically getting related keywords, if they exist, phrase keywords, top 5 competitors' keywords and backlinks, and their top ranking pages. That's what it gives us. From this information, we extract all the language, and this is what we use to build our digital marketing blueprint. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a 3 if that's making sense. Okay, so I'm just going to put this aside for now. I'm going to click into the blueprint. And for the guys that are new, if we're going to basically create a blueprint, all we're going to do is fill in this form here and over there. All right, just have to add those 2 parameters, select your locale, and you press go. So you notice here I've got shower market, plumbing market, hair salon market. There's some other projects here. We've got mass page, we've got grey water. All the projects that I work on, I look at it from a market perspective. I'm going to show you a few examples now with DMT. What we've done is we start on the dashboard, we've dropped into the blueprints. Now we've opened up our shower market project. Notice that I've added 1 keyword over here, 1 URL. And what I did here was I wanted to know what's getting sold. So I added an e-commerce store that was ranking really well. That e-commerce store, it's got high domain authority and page authority. It's ranking for over 50,000 keywords. It's got over 1.5 million people hitting that website a month in the UK. And the value of their traffic is roughly £2 million. They're targeting 14,000 keywords in AdWords. So for the guys wanting to do PPC, we can now start seeing their top PPC ads, top PPC landing pages. But from this one website that we've added in over here, I've extracted the top 1,000 keywords that drive this business. Give me a 1 if that makes sense.
Also, a quick question in there for you, mate. The new blueprint, is that form for my site or competitor site?
What we do is we've got two methods that we work with DMT. We either add our top 3 competitors that are true competitors, because remember, we're after language, guys, or we add market leaders. You don't want to go add Amazon.com when you're adding domains, okay? It's got to be a true domain that's directly competing with you in that industry, because from that we can extract that. So you can come in over here, and when you add your domains, you simply just put the URL in there, you select your country, you select your target search engine, and then you can say it's a competitor site, or you can say it's your money site, or it's a blog. We talk more about this in the actual training in Digital Marketers Toolbox. We show you step by step. And then over here, we can say how many keywords we want back, and this will go and fetch it. What I do is when we don't have any domain yet, I simply just use a domain called myplaceholderwebsite.com. I can change it later on. You can see it over there. And when we're looking here, there's nothing. It's a blank site. But what I did was I just came straight in over here, and I went straight into keyword research, and I said, do my keyword research. So I've taken one e-commerce store. I've drilled into shower. Why did I drill into shower? A single word phrase. Who knows why I've done that? So while you guys are writing comments, I'm going to reiterate what we've done here. We've come in and we created a blueprint. We've added one domain that we wanted to use as a target. I recommend going up to 3 or 4 domains. You don't have to add any more than that. I'll show you a plumbing niche after this. Once you come in and you've added your domains, you simply can click on that and you can add more competitors, or you can drop down to keyword research and do your keyword research. Notice that I started off with shower. I'll look at those questions now. There's a question here at the domain level. Mike's asking, if we add a site like mayoclinic.com, would that be too broad or too big to be a competitor site if you are within a health product? When you're dealing with a huge site like mayoclinic.com, you're going to get basically the top 1,000 keywords that drive that domain. If they speak about multiple things around the health industry, what you will get back are the verticals, the little peaks. So imagine you standing on top of a mountain. This is an authority site. There's a lot of small sites around him. So when you're standing on top of his sites, you can start seeing all the conversations that are important to that website and what drives them. So if you want to find niches, it's great to use those big authority sites, because then you start seeing stuff that comes back. The one guy added the Cosmopolitan the other day as one of the keywords, and the top keywords that came back were all sex-related stories. That's the keywords that were driving the Cosmopolitan. It was quite ironic when we saw that, but you wouldn't think that, but most of the topics that the keywords that came back were all sex-related. So find true competitors. Who are the guys that you're competing with? Who are the guys that speak about specific things? So if you're in finance, then Money Supermarket is specifically geared towards speaking about money. Those are the type of sites that you want to use. Does that make sense, Mark Seeley? If you just give me a 1. True competitors is what you really want, guys. Or if it's a website like this e-commerce site, they only sell plumbing supplies. So when I think about this, the language that comes back is all plumbing related. It gives me the entire verbiage. So I'll show you what it does. When we come back to the shower project, right? As we add our competitors, the most powerful competitors will float to the top. When we click into a competitor, now we can start seeing all the keywords that are driving traffic. We can see how competitive these keywords are. We can see the landing page, what the landing page looks like. We can see the percentage of traffic that actually goes to that domain based off that keyword. So here we can see toilets, bathroom suites, showers, vanity units, bathroom wall panels, bathroom furniture. These are all the things, look at all the traffic around it. These are all topics that are all bathroom related. If I'm interested in shower, I can just come in here and say, okay, what are all these shower keywords? And look what DMT gives me back now. Shower, shower cubicles, doors, baths, trays, screens, trays, units, heads, enclosures, bifold, thermostatic bath shower mixer, wet shower room screens, walk-in showers. There's like 10 different themes over here that we can actually drill into. Do you guys see that? Jesse's asking, how would you find the right 3 to 4 competitors in a niche to research without wasting credits? Start with Google. And if I was looking for, well, yeah, we're in the shower. This is a shower repair. I can come in over here. We can see what are the top sites that are coming back. So there's a YouTube video. We've got landmarker, how.com resources plumbing. Okay, that's a bit broad. But start in Google, do a research, look at who the top guys are. So shower repair in the UK, plumbing force, Myra shower support, another supplier, find a trade. See, when you get these training type of sites, I wouldn't use them because they do all kinds of stuff. Service team's the same. I wouldn't use that. This plumbing service, I'll look at them. Shower fix. So there we got 4 guys, right? Plumbing force, I look at the emergencies, boiler, they fix boilers, heating, these are the gas, and here's all the plumbing. Blockages, shower services. So 1 page, this is a plumbing company, okay? Myra, this is a brand, they make actual showers. So we can, anyone who uses Myra showers, we can fix. Plumbing and heating. It's all plumbing. There's all the keywords. Okay, and shower fix. So I would take these domains like this if I want to use them, and then I would just drop them into Digital Marketers Toolbox. And the way we do it is basically we come into DMT into our blueprint. We choose it, and would simply just paste the domain in over here, give a description. You can see over there, bathroom e-commerce store. I just remind myself what it is. Specify the search engine, what it is. This is a competitor site, and then I drill and I fetch the keywords. Does that make it clear, guys? Start at Google, do some pre-research before you come into the tool. And then once you're inside the tool and you've drilled into a domain, you can click into the domain. That's the top competitor that floats to the top with the biggest footprint. And if you look at domain view and we go to domain analysis, this will show us, it's going to shrink these first 2 options, the organic competitors, the common keywords, and the rank value. And what I like about this is I like to look at all the domains here. These are all the top domains. And we can see by how relevant they are to the plumbing one by the percentage here. But what's important here is if you look at these 2 columns here, we can see which one's getting the most traffic. And then we can look at the actual rank value. Which one's making the most money? So you see these big blue bars, Wix, that's a brand. Check how much money they're making from search traffic. 6 million, nearly 7 million. City Plumbing, there's a domain. We can try these guys. And all I do is I follow the money. How much these guys are getting a lot of traffic? Bathstore.com, tapwarehouse.com. Does it make sense, guys? How quickly we can find who the related competitors are? But you got to start with Google. Okay. So what I do with this process is I essentially come in, I add my top 3 or 4 domains here. In this instance that we're looking at the shower project, you can see I've just used 1 domain. I was more focused in on what are the most popular shower parts. And the way I found those was I added this domain, I clicked into it, I came down and I started with shower. When I did that, that showed me the whole shower theme. A theme is a collection of words that contain the phrase that you're filtering by in it. So if we take shower and we go Control F, we highlight everything. Walking, folding, electric, freestanding, doors, sliding, enclosures, heads, units, trays, screens, trays. That's the language, guys. That's the language that defines this industry. Does that make sense? Give me a 1 if that makes sense. Here's an interesting question Alexander's asking. He says, would you use google.com as it would have more search volume or local like co.uk? Guys, focus on the language, not the search engine. If you use google.com, you're focusing in on American English. The language is spelled differently. They use different words. They use words like faucets. And in the British English, the language is different. They use words like taps. So focus in on the language. If if you're in a small niche like in South Africa, for example, I look at the UK results because I care about the language. I don't care about the actual guys ranking right now. South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Britain, Ireland, they all speak British English. Okay, so you can use any of those search engines if you're on those locales. If you can't find stuff there, you can actually use other ones. That's what I do. I don't bother too much because I know that I'm going to rank against anybody. One day a ranking is going to be there, the next day it's gone. So at this stage, I don't focus too much on that. I focus more on how the language is used, and I focus on where they're using the words in the structure of the URLs. Does that make sense, guys? Like if you look at American English, they use a lot of these inside their spelling, like optimize. Whereas in South Africa, instead of the Z, they would use a S. In English, British English, you use a S. So there's the small nuances we have to become aware of when we work. Okay, so I'm gonna go back up to the top here to the project. You guys, do you see how quickly we can extract keywords and how we can identify where the traffic flows through our competitors? Does that make sense? Give me a 2 if that makes sense. So I've come in, I've clicked into the site, I've identified the themes I'm interested in. I come down to my domain. I drop down to my keyword research. I say, do my keyword research. And notice what I've drilled into, guys. I've drilled into shower. From shower, I moved into bathroom remodeling. Then I moved into bathroom remodel because the ING brought me back less results. So I stepped further back up the market. And I typically draw 1 or 2 word phrases. I don't draw 3, 4, 5 word phrases because within shower, the higher up I'm in the vertical, I can start seeing all the keywords that come back that are related. I can see all the phrase match. These are the phrase match keywords. At the top level, we can look at the competitors. We can see how strong they are. More competitors. We've already got the keywords. You can see the keywords will pop up over here as it loads up. And then as I go through this process, I just drill into all the things that I want to fix. So we want to remodel, we want to do bathroom showers, we want to do power showers, we want to do electric showers, we want to do cubicles, doors, screens, trays, and installers. So what this has done is give me a lot of keywords. So what makes DMT really powerful is this global view. It allows us to look at all the domain keywords, all the PPC keywords, and all the theme keywords. So I simply come in and I just open these up. And as it loads, it shows me where the most traffic is amongst all the domains that we've added. So we can see that the toilets, the bathroom suites, the vanity units, bathroom wall panels, those are all the things that are driving this site here. So I'm gonna come in here and type in shower for now, so we can move on pretty quickly. I'm gonna increase the amount of keywords on the C to 1,000, and there's my shower theme. I can see exactly. So you see the uses, they're all ones. There's a 2. That means that in all these drills that we've done, that keywords appear 2 times in the database. The position is in the search results. That's the search volume. That's the natural clicks the site gets from that keyword. And those are the landing pages. On the PPC ads, we can see they're sending everything to the domain. And there's all the keywords. There's a kitchen taps one. There's the lights online. But if you come in here, are they doing any shower ads? And they are. Okay. So there's screens. Let's have a look at that page. They've turned that ad off. Let's look at shower trays. See, they've turned the ad off. Sometimes you see the ad you don't, but at least you can see what they're bidding on. On the theme keywords, I come in here, and by the theme I've drilled into, I can basically see where all the search volume runs. So if I want to look at showers, this is where things get very interesting. We added a few keywords and we got 5,300 keywords. So let's just put 6,000 in here so you look at all of them at once. And you'll notice the keywords that are on green. If a keyword's mentioned more than 4 times, keywords used more than 4 times in all the actual themes that we drilled into, we identify them. So can you see the most important words, how they just pop up in DMT for us without having to think too hard? Give me a 3 if that makes sense. So as I build my sites now, coming back to the questions, what I do is I jump between the domain and a theme keyword list. In Digital Marketers Toolbox, when we build our sites, we're constantly extracting keywords from our competitors, and we're extracting keywords from our keyword research that we do every year. Now, do you have to draw many times? No, you don't have to, okay? Yeah, you can see it comes to a point where things start overlapping. In nearly all the themes, that's a common word, a large shower tray. Wix shower screens are used a lot. There's Wix again, there's B&Q. Okay, we've got all these things there. How many keywords have we got here? On this list, I've got over, gee whiz, 2,000, close to 3,000 shower keywords. Have you guys got enough keywords? Is that enough keywords for you guys? Give me a 1 if it's enough or 10 if it's not. Now to do these drills and to add that domain, that took me literally 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I had all my data all prepped and ready for me. Okay, I don't need to drill anymore. I'm done. I've the entire language that's related to plumbing and the components that go with it. I want to extract the shower from it. So what I do now is I come to my website. I click on my silos. And what you're going to see is we've got the project keywords, which is coming from our competitors over here. There's 2 parts to it. You can see all the project keywords, or you can look at a specific domain. Yeah, we've got our theme keywords, and this comes from all our keyword research keywords. We can look at specific themes, or we can look at all the themes. Now, what you want to do with DMT is when you're building your site, you want to always make sure that you're focusing on the thing that you're trying to sell. So if I'm selling shower trays, they're going to have a specific price. If I'm selling shower cubicles, they're going to have a specific price. If I'm selling bathroom showers, the actual component, the thing, is going to have a different price. If I'm doing a service, there's going to be a different price to install the different stuff. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a 0 if that makes sense. Every single theme key you drill into potentially has a price point tied to it. So as we're working, the first step I do is I come in and decide, okay, cool, I'm going to work on my shower theme. So I click on shower and I'll say set product. What this does is it sets my funnel. I can see the price, I can see the profit I'm making, I can see my conversion funnel, and I can see my market. When I start adding silos and keywords, it's as easy as me seeing the search volume. Here's all our normal data. I can see the funnel. That's shower. Here's a shower installer funnel. That's the funnel over there because it's got certain conversion rates and numeric values tied for it for commerce. And here's where I can start seeing the click-through, the traffic. We are looking for traffic, guys. We have to find out where the traffic streams are. Then we have to figure out how we're going to break into those traffic streams. When we use these keywords, these anchor words in the URL architecture, utilizing silo structure to essentially give your website a nice structure. Think of it as the same as being in the aisle in the supermarket. You look up, you see all the boards. So yeah, I'm looking for bathroom ideas, I go down that aisle. If I'm looking for shower parts, I go down this aisle. Top level keywords at silo level. Why? Because this is user navigation. You got to make it very easy for them to find what they're looking for. There's nothing worse than having 50 links running down a page. And you got to sit and look carefully and read and try and find what you want to get just to get some information. Give me a 3 if that makes sense. Okay, so the way I add a keyword is I simply come in over here, and on the keyword grid now, what it does is it shows the traffic, shows the click-throughs, and shows how much potential buy button sales we have, how many phone sales we potentially have, and how many sales, email sales we have if we're in position number 1 for that specific keyword. So this is where many people get stuck and they think, okay, we can't use these words in a URL structure. What I want to show you guys is a little concept, which we call stacking. We basically stack information. Give me a second, let's close that off there. Bring this notepad up. If you look at what you're doing, you're essentially starting off with the domain. Under the domain, you're starting to pull out your URL structure. From the URL structure, you start building out your meta structure. Past the meta structure, start doing our headlines. These are H tags, right? And then from that, we start doing our content blocks. Let me turn off Skype, guys. Sorry about that. And then from our content blocks, which we call our content templates, once there's layers of contents in there, we then get our schema. And after that, we have our persuasion layer. So if you look at the structure over here, just going to zoom out here a little bit. This is a bit big. Can you see how we start with the domain? Then we start building out the silo architecture. Then we start optimizing the meta structure. Then we start adding our H tags, H1, 2, 3, 4. In between the H tags, we start dropping our content blocks, which has our tokenization in it. Once that's done, we embed our schema for the business of the service. And then on top of that, we have to put up persuasion. We have to get them to phone us, get them to fill in the form, get them to press a button. This is what we call our stackable system. And when we start working at the URL architecture, what we're doing over here is we are essentially focusing on the root terms that define the market. Give me a 3 if this makes sense, if you see this now. So what I'm going to show you next in the website silo architecture, you'll start seeing what I've done now. I'm essentially coming with the website architecture. I'm focusing on the root terms in this market. I'm going to show you 2 different types. Okay. So with DMT, essentially all we're doing is we're logging in, we're opening up our blueprint, we're adding competitors, we're doing keyword research. Once we've done that, we review actual individual domains, or we look at the global data as a whole. Once we understand where the traffic flows, we start mapping it out in website architecture. So I'll come down to categories now. If you make a mistake, you can either just delete it. If you delete the silo, you'll delete all the categories and all the supporting articles, okay? So the higher you up you are, if you delete something, you know, wipe everything underneath it out. Does it make sense? So what's cool about this is, with DMT, if I'm interested in shower now, I can come in here and just go shower. If I can spell that right. And you'll see now, I don't have to worry about keyword research. Everything is done and ready for me. It's all there. There's shower screens, there's shower trays. I have the choice to either add at a top level shower, or I can actually stick these components like shower trays. I can stick it in right over here if it's super important. I'm the architect. I can decide what I want as a silo. I can decide where I want to start coming in as 1 or 2 letter words. But for this website, I want to just have the shower as the head silo. I'm going to click into that. And what that's done is it's dropped me down to the category. So if you notice our navigation here, it's almost like a production line. We started up here, we then added domains, we reviewed, we then came down, looked at who our related competitors are, we then drilled into our keywords, and now we're mapping out the silo. So you can see on this silo here, we've got the shower, and notice how we've got screens, trays, heads, walk-in, enclosures, mixtures, doors, and installation in the slug. Everything has been chopped. Why have I chopped everything back like this? Mary, I'll come back to your question now about the GMBs. Guys, when we look at search results now, we've got these breadcrumbs popping up. If your breadcrumb is too long, it gets truncated. Okay. At the URL level, we want to focus on the things that define the market the best. So I keep on showing the guys this wedding market is for one of our real businesses that we have. I'll come into that now. What I've done is I've mapped out the whole market, and I've stepped these out. Shower screens. If I come to shower heads, if I come to walk-in shower, if I click into walk-in shower, notice what we've done. We have shower, walk-in, closures, walk-in trays, walk-in screens, walk-in cubicles, walk-in curved, walk-in small units. As we're going down, we can see, pay attention to this now, the click-through rate, and we can see the actual conversion rate. And this is we start making money, right? Silo, category, posts, okay? This is the WordPress structure. Do I want to create a page for glass in walk-in shower if it's going to make me one conversion? If I'm making 200, 300 bucks, then maybe yes. But if not, I'd rather take this glass walk-in shower and I will basically stick it in up over, yeah, on the pages that it's relevant. Okay. So things where you got low conversions, get rid of them. Just wipe them out. Just delete them. You don't need them there. If you want to make a note, you can say, okay, cool, on the shower tray one or the shower screen one, you can come in over here and you can simply just add in glass in or whatever and change any of the settings. All right. So what's cool about DMT is I built this whole silo structure, right? This whole project I was done in 1 hour and 40 minutes. I've mapped out where all the traffic flows in the market. Now that I've done this, I come down to the semantic content editor. And what this does is this is where we work in the content architecture side of things now. So I'll open this up again. I'm going to slow right down now before we get to this. This is where we start focusing on this part over here. On the content architecture, we're looking at headlines and content blocks. We're not actually adding articles to the system. We are creating the structure, the skeleton key for the actual thing. And the reason why I'm showing you this is when we jump into Magic Page next, you're going to see how we're going to build out this whole website very quickly, and then how we're going to bind Magic Page on the side, and then Keith's going to take over and tell us the best way to do it. But can you guys see very quickly how the production lines from top to bottom works in DMT? Is this giving you a clear idea? Mike, Keith, feel free to jump in if I've left too many gaps. I think I'll stop right now and answer a few questions.
No, it's absolutely brilliant, mate. I think the key for a lot of people that they need to take away from this, and there's a small mistake I was making very early on with this, is when I first walked away to start using DMT, I was still drilling using local sites, and I didn't realize the way that the site structure was more about the language and not about who's ranking in the area. It was more of a top-down single word or 2-word keyword, as opposed to plumber in London type of thing. I would be just looking at plumber and drill into who's winning for plumber and look who's generating the most traffic and what pages are generating them the most traffic, so that I can then build a similar site structure to what they're doing that's generating all of their traffic, because that's kind of where it all comes from. And I was still in a very local mindset at the beginning. But if that kind of makes sense to people, that's where I've seen a lot of our users kind of using it slightly wrong. And I think what Matt's just shown shows you exactly what I mean by that. People get that?
When you come from a top level and you look down, excuse me, you can see over here, we know that we're dealing with shower screens, but we just cut this back as screens, right? Because my domain, I could have showerrepairuk.com or .co.uk, depending on whatever I change that or decide that's going to be what I can get, right? In the structure here, we talk about showers, shower screens, shower trays. These are all the important components that belong to that thing. So when the search engine reads this, it really understands this. What's great about DMT now is once we've mapped out this market and we come up here and we start actually working on the content blocks, when we export this out, on the persuasion layer, we're adding our brand, we're adding our localization, we're adding our geolocalization through using Magic Page, which creates the mass pages for us, which gives us the geographical relevance. And then through the silo architecture, we have the contextual relevance, because every time Google reads a site, it knows exactly what's going on. It knows that in the walk-in showers, oh, I'm on the wrong page, sorry. I thought it was looking a bit weird. When I drop into the walk-in showers, there's trays, there's screens, there's cubicles. These are all the parts that they can actually sell, right? But look at all the traffic that we're getting, how much sales we're making. So when you look at this, all of a sudden you think to yourself, like, cool, if I can get $20,000 pounds worth of sales a month, focusing on walk-in shower rooms. And now I start looking at who's competitive and who's not competitive. Even though we deploy the site with all the pages and all the content, now we come to do our SEO and our geographical optimization with Magic Page. We can zoom in on those specifics and we can spawn whatever we think is relevant, utilizing the brand, utilizing localization, and that all comes in on the actual copy layer. Yeah, with your content blocks. So if I jump back to WordPress, notice what we have over here. Once you've got your address in, Google knows that this website is localized to this location. Once your phone number's in, it knows if you're using a local dialing code, you're in that area, right? Would you guys agree with that? So here's where the kicker comes in. Coming back to the GMP question earlier, as soon as your site's deployed and you got it live and you've registered the GMB for the business, you've told Google this is a legitimate business that is found at this location on this place. Here's the pin, here's our photos, here's all our stuff, here's our posts, and you've optimized everything. Not only have you created a new Google My Business website that is siloed for every single post you put into GMB, but it's the connections that you've made. And number two, the categorization that you get back from DMT helps you better choose categories within Google. So you can go tell them, we deal with screens, we deal with makeup. I'll show you another project. If we look at the makeup model. Here's a plumbing niche. Now in this one here, I added some top plumbing sites. Plumbing supplier, another e-com store, strong, lots of keywords. Check the local guys. You see the local guys, there's no competition in the week. Just end up adding hundreds of these little guys and you get the same keywords overlapping, overlapping, overlapping. That's why I use top guys that are related. It gives me all the contextual keywords. Okay, once we got those guys, I drop into my placeholder website. I went into my keyword research. I did my keyword research. Notice I drilled into plumbing and insurance. That deals with plumbing, right? For lead generation. Came to the website. Plumbing, gas, services. See the traffic, all the traffic that's flowing. But we haven't finished mapping that one out there either. I'll show you the makeup blueprint quickly. There's the hair salon niche. Here's our UK competitors. See how strong they are? They sell, what is this one again? Their lead generation. Okay, this is a lead gen site that focuses on hair salons. Check how much traffic they're getting. Crazy. Come into that one. I come into the website architecture. Yeah, we've mapped out a whole bridal silo. There's the hair. There's the pedicures that we're doing. Here's all the eyebrow and eyebrow threading. And there's all the hair extensions. And you can see all the traffic that's running through these niches. And we take these and we can deploy them on multiple sites. And we can put different content on them. We can have different brands. We can have different areas that we target. We could focus in on the UK. We could focus in on a site in Australia. We could focus in on a site in New Zealand, because they all speak English, British English, right? Most of those folk are looking for the same or similar things. You'll get a few nuances where they might have a different way of describing it, but that's trivial. It's a small thing. You can just add into the copy and you'll pick up on a keyword. Is this making sense of what we're doing with DMT, guys? We're mapping out where the traffic flows in the market. This creates our skeleton key of that actual market, and then we can, through tokenization, deploy our website builds in multiple different ways that we want to. We've done in the previous webinar I did with Mark, we went through all the drills and we actually did it. So we're going to show you that again. That's what I'm not going to do today, but I wanted to give you guys the top level ideas of why we map out the markets the way we do with this. Does that make sense? Give me a 3 if this is making sense to you guys. Okay, so here's a question here regarding silo creation. Search numbers versus story. In my field, I have no direct competition. My competition goes after the same customers, unemployed people. Deal with your market, you must focus in on the actual service that the guy does. If there's a certain group of guys that you find you can help the best, I would start telling the story of how you helped this plumber achieve his goals, or how I helped this electrician achieve his goals, how we helped this small business achieve their goals. It's through the storytelling that your site will actually work much better, especially if it's like a very super niche that not many people know about. You won't get search results back. And if it's dealing with government things, you can't really add the government domains, because then you're going to pick up all the top keywords that those domains have, which won't be related. So the cool thing about a niche is you can actually, if there's specific words, I use the dumpster market as an example. What can you really say about dumpsters if you think about it? It's a big tin, yellow, green, orange, blue logos. A truck picks it up, a truck drops it off. It costs so much money. How do you rank for that? It's difficult. What you do there is you focus in on where the uses are of that actual thing. So we talk about home renovation, bathroom renovation, garden renovation, clearing, those type of things, the things that you can fill it up with. And those are the stories that you talk about. People read that article, and then you drive traffic back to, hey, do you want a dumpster? When can we drop it off? And this is what you guys got to get into the mindset of. You have to get into the mindset of where your audience is at and what they want. Once you do that, you can tell the story that essentially gets them to take that action. But more importantly, you start unlocking for yourself the language that will be used. And then you can create the hierarchy structure. So if we look at bridal, why didn't we go for wedding? Because wedding is about services. Bridal is about herself. She's the one spending the money. She wants her eyebrows threaded. She wants to have the bridal shower. She's looking for gifts. She wants to have the best hairstyle. She wants her nails done. Does that make sense, guys? So when you map out the story and you create a theme about the story, it becomes the index of a book. It becomes very easy for a person to see your site. So if a bride comes in, she's going to see bridal immediately. She's going to go, boom, click on that, and then she'll choose what she wants. At any point in time, your key components like your phone numbers and your special offers and all those things are within the actual frame. The frame being the actual site that you build. Okay, does that make sense, guys?
Can I just remind people to do something? If you put, I can see a couple of questions that's popped in that we've missed because they're not putting the 3 question marks at the beginning. Is it all right if I just whip through and just ask you the questions, Matt?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, first one's off Rick Pace. He's just basically saying, how do you adjust the process when you're working on a site for a company that has multiple services? So if he's got water damage and fire damage, what would you do?
They're 2 different services. So there'll be 2 different categories within a damage theme. So what would the first question I'd ask myself there, okay, the service they're doing is probably water damage. Are they actually going up fixing the thing? That's the first thing. So water damage, and what is the other one?
Fire damage.
Fire. So damage is the common word there, but damage has multiple meanings. Is there a specific term for that type of repair? I'll start with that, and then I'll make the categories fire, water, hail, storm, sea, whatever the things are that can damage those things that you fix. I would just stack them out as categories. Because here's the cool thing, for every silo that you have in your site, right, you can cherry pick your best categories and you can create a paragraph on that actual page linking down to that actual category, which means you're bringing the most important things forward. On your silo pages, you can put up on the index page, you can put the most important pictures forward, which leads them to the actual silo, if that makes sense, right? So this is where it gets really cool. When we map out the market with silo architecture, all we got to do is reserve a top level term for magic page that's going to be doing all the geographic pages for us. So I'm going to go back to the plumbing market quickly. Sorry, the shower one. I'm going to click into my site. And I come down to content architecture. Let's click on silos for now. This is where the real power comes in. If I click into shower, What we do at DMT is we essentially got these processes. We click drill blueprint. What this will do, it'll go and tell us for this specific term what Google's ranking. So we know that it's organic and its videos are important and its top stories. If we drop down into the site, into category levels, sorry, wrong one. And let's say we're going to look at shower enclosures. So I select it and it goes orange. And what that shows me down here is what's one, or shopping. Look there, all key e-commerce. If we click on this, we can actually see how the rankings look. Bathroom supply shops, shower screen shop. These are the top 100 components that Google classes being relevant, right? So instead of us having to dig through that, what's cool about DMT is it shows us what's working. It shows us all the related questions. We can see the top market research questions, which comes from our competitors. These are our theme keyword research competitor keywords. Buyer's intent, if there are. There's a PPC ad. We can look at it, how they built that out. We can see their page. And then we've got the top organic results. So once we've got this information, the very next thing that we do is we click on generate the DNA braid. The reason why we call it the DNA braid, DNA means components made up of. It's a genetic code for that specific page. When I click on this button, what it does is it goes and fetches the top keywords for us that are related to this out of our data set that we've got. So here we can see shower enclosures are the most searched, then there's walk-in shower enclosures, then there's quadrant shower enclosures, and so it goes on. So if we're working on certain things, right, we can come in here and we can take specific things we want to work with, right? And this is say I want to embed my tokenization as I'm working into this. See, there's quadrant, that's a brand. I'm just going to do this one example to show you guys. But can you see how we've taken the shortcode that we used? I'm just saving that there. Just to remind you where we got it from, was from our post snippets. Inside that brand shortcode now, it essentially is going to go brand name and it's going to spin whatever we've got in over there. So we can create anything we want that goes with the actual brand name. Give me a 3 if that makes sense what I've just done there. I'll go back to DMT now. Steven's asking, can this work with sites that do not use Magic Page? Yes, you can, as a standalone, you can run this as a standalone site. What we do is we use Magic Page for the geographical lead generation part of the site. So essentially what we'll do there is we'll set that up as a single silo and we'll let it run, and that'll create the relevance. We're going to jump into that quickly. But I just wanted to show you what the tool does and how quickly we can build stuff out. But as we're going through the title and the meta descriptions, I can come into my title and I can start tokenizing how I want things, right? So we can go here and say, and I can look at the organic results. Show enclosure repair. And I can start adding my modifiers in if this is what we're doing. Come on. Okay, so there we can have shower enclosure repair. Meta title, becoming our brand. We can start taking our brand down and embedding it into all this here. And as we build our content templates out, we can really refine this, and we can also start taking our shortcodes that we have, and we can essentially embed them into these places. So when we save this, and we've worked our way through our blueprint, and we've optimized all the templates, on the article, we can have our H1, our H2s, our H3s. Let's just say we're going to make our H3s these related questions over here. for the writers and for ourselves, I can paste that in like that. I can come in there. I can say those are all the H2s. We can come and grab questions. So can you see I'm harvesting the important things that are thematically relevant to this actual build? Now, what you're going to notice here is when you do this, show enclosures, brand show enclosures, brand show enclosures, see a duplication. Now we can just start thinning our stuff out. And we start building out our content templates. So in this now, we can start going show enclosures and our blurb. Okay, does that make sense, guys? So I'm going to say save. And that actual brand must be in capitals for it to work. So quickly fix that. And then I'm going to summarize what we've done so we can jump into the blog and actually show you guys how we build this out. Keith, I know that you use DMT a lot. Have you got any comments on what I've shown the guys so far in your own experience? While I just save this quickly.
No, that's basically how I built it out. I haven't yet built a site from scratch with it, but I'm in the process of doing one, because basically I got a client who wanted a website built, and I just threw his competitors into DMT, and it showed me all of the areas in the UK where a lot of the search was going. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to go for that. So now I've built his site out basically using DMT, which is going to be really good for him considering he's only paid us to get a site built. But then I'm going to use that to actually then build out other sites. And I've got his like site. You know, I looked at it, put it in, and I've got like the 4 silos. I'm not going to build all the silos out for him. All he's getting is like the top level of the silos.
Yes.
Because that's all he's paid for, basically. Well, he's actually getting a better site than what he would have got. But yeah, that's how I've done it. I've got the silos already built out, so that when I do go over to the mass page site, everything's just ready, like you said, just to drop in.
Okay, that's there. Okay, so what I did now was, sorry?
I was just going to say, Keith just touched on something then that a lot of people won't get, and I seen somebody asking about credits earlier, but obviously they must be using the system and wondering how to save on the credits. But what Keith said was he's built that silo out for that client, and he'll use that silo for every single client going forward. So what it is if you imagine the way you talk about showers, it's not really changed in the last 10 years. There's no new word other than maybe power shower or walk-in steam room or saunas, which got a lot popular maybe 10 years ago. But the way we actually speak about them and the types of showers and the things, they don't really change. So once you've created this silo structure for a specific industry, it's kind of evergreen. And if you build it out and spend the time with it inside of DMT, you've got a framework there that you don't need to put everything into every single site, but you use the framework to create your sites in that specific industry. So if you specialize in the plumbing industry, you don't need to use tons and tons and tons of credit. I've got an industry that me and a friend are targeting on this, which I'm not going to bring up on here, but we've gone through that industry once, and we're going to use that setup that we've created in every single one of our UK websites. And the only time we'll ever re-drill it is when we start doing that industry in the States, because like Matt said, the language is different. So don't think that every time you bring on a new client, you've got to re-drill and recheck the competition and redo it. Go right to the very top and drill down at the top, and you can actually use it then over and over and over and over again, and you don't use many credits that way. So I just thought I'd get that in because I know a lot of people are probably using a lot of credits and not
yeah, that's the beauty of it. Yeah. If you look at what we've done here, we've mapped out the URL structure, we've tweaked out the headlines in the content editor, and we're using the tokenization in the actual output. So when we export out our XML, it carries that shortcode in it. When we import it, all we've got to do is import our template, and all those tokens become live. We just tweak these out, and all that layer on that level introduces the localization, and it introduces the brand, and it introduces all the keyword specific stuff that's related to that specific area. So you could have a plumbing site in Florida, one in Miami, one in LA, another one up in Ohio. Any of those places, could be in Birmingham, Leeds, Manchester, for a specific brand. So that what makes DMT cool is we're working smarter, guys. We're not working harder. We're not re-drilling the same market over and over and over again. We're just enhancing our data set that looks at a specific market. Does that make sense? Give us a 4 if that makes sense. So I want to make sure you guys get this, because if you get this, you're going to start understanding I can really smash markets. Okay, so what I did next was, remember, we started at the top, we created our blueprint, we added 1 or 3 or 4 competitors, we clicked into our domain, we drilled into keywords that we were after, the themes, 1 or 2 word phrases. We then mapped out the nodes of relevance in that market that we're interested in, that has traffic. And the way we followed the money and the traffic was through the search. There's your search volume. We can see the cost per click. Okay, that one's got a high cost per click. But more importantly, we can see the conversions. So once they click through, if we're ranking what the conversions are and what the sales mean to the actual business. So we follow the money, we follow the traffic, we follow the money. When we see this, we can decide, okay, cool, are we going to actually build a page for this or not? If not, that word now becomes a copy word. It moves from structure down into content blocks. Just the mention of that word, if it's localized, if it's a phone number, it binds that website to a specific place. When we put our schema in, we re-enhance that definition by saying this is specifically for this type of thing. And then our persuasion is getting the guys to actually pick up the phone and phone us. We have to decide what are we going to put in. Is this making sense? Are we stacking on top of us? Using language, and we're stacking our language at key parts of the website build to help us get the result that we want by clearly defining, using language that understands, that the search engines can understand. So Jesse's asking here, what is the best way to reuse that silo when you go into different geographical markets? It's important. Is it importing silos into each site? Yeah, you'd basically import it in and then customize from there. Will we be able to create unique content with tokenization in the content blocks? You can create your tokenization in any way. This is why we use this free plugin called Post Snippets. It's a great thing. If there's specific call to action, if there's specific opening hours, these are things that are static that usually are site-wide, or we can have them on specific places. So then what we do is inside here, we can create a shortcode. We can have PHP code execute. We can do all kinds of other little things with this. We can put HTML in here, and we can add variables. It's a very powerful little plugin to use. I'm not going to get too much into it, but if you're building specific content blocks through your tokenization, through the shortcodes you create, you can embed those shortcodes into your copy. Then it's just a matter of you having this spreadsheet here, or all these shortcodes, and just tweaking that out. Import, change all those variables, and then the site's basically got all the information. So how do we get stuff from DMT into WordPress? So what you'll do is you come to content architecture, you go to export manager, and you simply just click this button. That generates your file, you save it, you come across to your blog, and this is where we got the video silo builder. Now with the video silo builder, you can use different spin tags, which you can put into your copy, and it'll spin. If you don't use Magic Page, it'll automatically do it. If you're using Magic Page, you must just turn the spinning on, and it'll make it work as well. Mark and I've tested this, and it works great. So what you want to do is, if you want to import this stuff, you got 2 choices in DMT. If I want to add some pages, I'm going to turn the videos off. I'm going to write here terms about contact, GDPR, privacy, and I say make it so. So there's all my drafts, okay? Now I want to import my blueprint. I'm going to drop one down to Silo Importer. I leave it as draft. I'm going to turn the shortcode on for now, just so you can see it. I'm going to just say, show me the top 10 links. You can turn those things on and off if you want. I'm just going to leave them as 10 for now. I don't want YouTube videos. So I'm going to browse, go to my actual file. So there's our demo file. And I come into advanced settings, and this is what gets really cool. With DMT, we can change what gets put in where in the site structure. So in the slug, I use the primary keyword as the default for now. And if you look at when we're building out our website here in the website architecture, as we map kind of site, we can modify the slug. We can enhance. If I click on this page here, bathroom ideas and designs, there's the H tags. I can come to this plugin called Web Developer. I can click on information, and I can say, show me the document outline. I can come in over here, and I can come in over there. And for my first, just showing you this quickly, stick that in there. I can take that and I can actually stick it into my site by adding it. I check it. I can say I want to do a video on that. I want to rank it, and I want to basically add this to a blueprint. And I click on this button, it'll take that whole thing there and add it, right? When we import it in, we can have that headline, we can have that page title, we can have that slug in any configuration. So just think about this for a minute. If this is your primary site, you can have your meta as a page title, that's all correct. We can click import. If we're going to target long tails with this blueprint, we can change that to the H1, the article headline. Now suddenly all our meta titles are totally different, they're much longer. Can you see how we just changed the whole design of that blueprint? Give me a 5 if that makes sense what I've just shown you guys there. Okay, we're going to jump back to your questions now shortly, guys, while we're doing this. So for the primary build, I do this by default for my first website. I don't do anything else, and that mirrors what we have. So I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to say import. This will go off now, and it'll start building out the pages. I just want to come to this cron manager here. You'll see this vSilo importer. What this does is runs in a cron, and every 10 minutes it'll build out your pages. So it doesn't do everything at once. If you build a big blueprint and there's a few hundred pages and you just let the thing run, it'll probably time out because it's just too busy doing it. What we've built into the plugin is a cron manager that doesn't put so much load on your server. So it'll build a batch, chill a bit, build a batch, chill, build a batch, chill. So if you don't see your pages immediately, don't freak out, they're coming, okay? So let me answer some questions while those pages are getting built. And then we can jump across into Magic Page and start setting up the next part of this shower building website. Let's see what we got here.
Is it possible to quickly, sorry, is it, before you answer the questions, is it possible to just quickly jump over to where the, you know, when you first drill the site, where it shows the percentage of pages that provide the traffic for the site? So the real power here is what you'll find is a very, very large site. It will only be a very small number of pages. So for example, you said 50,000 keywords earlier, that site was ranking for. But what we'll probably find is a good chunk of their traffic is coming from a very few pages. So what DMT enables you to do with the way it drills the keywords and goes into it is it enables you to drill down to the high percentage with a low number of pages. So the amount of traffic and the amount of visits and the amount of relevance that comes to your site, even though it's only small, is way, way, way above everybody else. And if you can look at what he's showing you there on the page, you understand this better than I do, Matt. So I'll let you explain just that percentage thing for people so they understand why it's so powerful because of the percentage.
I've just increased this to 1,000, right? If we look at the traffic cost and take it off, you can see it's quite a competitive market, okay? Very competitive keywords. That green bar that they have over there, that's the only traffic that this domain's getting. The rest of the traffic's a little speckle here, speckle there across thousands of keywords. And that's from keyword stemming. So I'll turn that off as well. Come on. And yeah, you can see that's just that little band is where the site's getting its traffic from. This green bar is basically telling us these are the keywords that actually bring traffic to the actual domain. So Victoria Plumbing, the brand name, brings in 32,000 clicks a month. Then it's toilets, then it's bathroom suites, then it's vanity units. So you can see these are the most important pages based on the percentage of traffic that they're getting over here. And if we go all the way down, you'll notice that the green bar is going to stop soon, but it's 0.03. It's like a click here, there.
Okay, now the reason I asked you to jump onto that is anybody that uses Magic Page on here before we jump over, you'll have heard me say many times, build buffer pages. Now, the reason DMT is so amazing for Magic Page users is what it enables you to do is create the most profitable, most visited buffer pages for your site without going out and building 500 or 600 pages. Buffer pages, you can build the best 5 or 6 pages that's generating the traffic for the people who are actually at the top of the industry. So those buffer pages, we call them, which is actually the site architecture, are always going to be the top pages in the industry, which means as soon as you start building these sites, you're automatically going to be generating 10 times more traffic than anybody else. And those in DMT will have seen what Matt shared recently, a site with a so like 30,000 impressions from nothing.
Yeah.
Last month, I think it was.
Yeah.
So sorry, guys, I'll let him answer the questions now. I just wanted to make sure from a fundamental level, people understood why this structure is so important and what it actually gives to the base of your site before we then start looking at the wider area that surrounds your site. So I'm doing a ball with my hands here. Go on.
So if you guys look here, I've changed the filter to 20, basically. Show me the top 20 keywords that drive traffic to this website or this domain. You can see it's toilets, bathroom suites, showers, vanity units, panels, freestanding bars, freestanding bathroom sinks, cubicles, radiators. We know exactly what these guys are selling, and we can see their pages, how they laid their page out. So when we come to board our site, there's our look and feel. Search, checkout, ideas, inspiration. We open. We can start really looking closely at the design. So pop over. Now here's their content templates. There's a block of images. There's a filtering system that they got. Now obviously it's an e-commerce store. That's why they're going to have that over there. But can you guys see the look and feel? How we've just already found bathroom accessories, bathroom panels. If you go to the home of the site, there's a big call to action. There's their colors, the words, the look and feel. This works. We're just gonna make something look as nice and be in the game. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a 3 if that makes sense. Okay, so let's get into these questions so we can get to the fun part now. I just want to quickly refresh here. Wow, we've been chit-chatting and look at how much has been built here. Okay, that's not going to work, so I'm going to do a quick edit over here as title. Sorry, it does work. I thought it was in the URL. But can you see how we got the shortcode inside the actual title tag now, guys? So if we take this up and we go to screen options, okay, there's enough pages. We just built out 22 pages while we sat here talking, and there's probably more coming. Because we have, let's check our posts. There's all our posts. We've got 78 posts sitting in draft. So to make this website work, all we've got to do is go to menus. We come to our menu. We come to, we make them draft, turn the pages on first, sorry. So we'll take those and we'll edit those. I'm going to publish these. And if I come to the posts, I'm just publishing them so we can see the structure, guys. Usually you'll build the pages first. And this is where you do all your optimization. That's a 100-page website we just deployed. And it took me an hour and a half to map out all those nodes of relevance. Okay, let's look at some questions while that's going on.
Right, would you only build the pages that pulls in the best pages? I think Stephen's done finished. Then I meant best traffic. Would you only build the pages that build in the best traffic? Initially, Stephen, with something like that, you want to be, the reason you want to be going after the traffic pages is what it's going to do is, whilst the site's still small, it's going to generate a lot more traffic, and which is then going to generate a lot more relevance, which is going to get a lot more people on your website. So when you start to spread out, your site, when you do start to hit it with the smaller keywords, you'll rank at the top very, very quickly. It's the same with when you build your mass page sites. What we say is, you're better off, if you're going to go national, then go after the major cities first, because they're going to generate 10 times more traffic than the smaller areas. And what will happen is, once the site's got kind of a footing in place and it's on solid ground and Google likes it and it's ranking, and you've got all of your other entities around it that point into it, then when you put the smaller areas in, what happens is they just jump straight in at the top. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to mess around with it, because you've already built that footing. You've already built the traffic up. You've already had the customers in. Whereas if you do it the other way, where you just build them all at once, including the small areas, it's going to go out and it's going to start indexing all of your pages. But what it's going to see is a lot of almost non-relevant pages. And so they're not going to be getting as much traffic. And what it's going to start doing is de-indexing the pages that don't get much traffic. So you build it the other way. You build the big areas first, rank them, put the work in to rank them, and then when you put the small areas in, they automatically shoot up to the top, and it's less work.
Yeah. To explain what Mark said there is, when you do the cities first, you're creating that first layer, that first foundation, and that's what's giving you the geographical relevance. Because of the silo structures that we created on the side now, notice what I've done here is I've taken the shower silo, the bathroom shower, and contact and about, and I've just added those, I've bolted them on. What this does is this connects what we call a bolt-on silo to the site. So there's our silo menu over there. Okay, you see them there, all that stuff. Google's going to run through and spot all these pages. It's going to check everything. When we click into shower, notice how we've got all our shower stuff inside here, right? We drop down into shower screens. Come on. Shower screens, walk-in shower. There we go. There's walk-in shower enclosures, walk-in shower trays, shower mixers. There's our sites, right? So there's all the internal linking done for you guys very, very quickly. That's what the plugin does for us. This is the shortcut we add in. So I'm going to recap on the steps that we've done here to get to this point. What we've done is we've come into DMT, we've added our competitors. We've then gone to our site and dropped down to keyword research, and we've drilled into the vertical market keywords. We start at the top of the vertical. Imagine you're standing on a mountain, and we drill into that one word or the two-word phrase. That shows us all the small peaks of traffic around that hill. We can see it now. We then come to website architecture, and we map out the keywords that are important to the service or the product that we are selling. So if I'm repairing shower screens, we're going to have to repair the trays, the heads, the walk-in showers, the enclosures, the mixers, the panels, the doors, the installation. All those things are all related. So that's why we map all this out. The reason why we choose them is because there's search volume, and it's proven to create at least a conversion or more. What we do is we map out ideas. We then come back and review our blueprint. Anything that doesn't create conversions, we delete them out of the structure. We don't want to create pages for those. Those words become contextual words. We stick into the copy. Understand that when you add a competitor, you get contextual relevance. These are all the related keywords. When we do theme keyword research, we're looking at the related keywords to that specific theme and the phrase match. And we harvest all those keywords. We map out our site, we define clearly what it is. In the content architecture, we tokenize and build it out. We export our blueprint, we come into DMT, video silo importer, we import it. We put them all in draft. That creates all our pages, and then we can work. Once we've got all our pages done, we come to our menus. We simply add bathroom ideas. On the SEO silo menu, just like I've got there, we save it, and that gives us our menu structure, right? So see there, we're in the shower silo. Once that's done, now we can jump into Magic Page, and we can start setting up Magic Page. But can you guys see the process? Give me a 3 if that process is clear. We started at the top, and we've worked our way through, exported, imported, got all our pages in. Now we come to Magic Page settings, and now we can decide on what is the keyword that we're going to basically use for this build to get this all set up. Should we stop at this and just do 5-minute question quick, and then we can get to your setup, because we've built the site now.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, there is a question I wanted to answer for Robert, because what Robert's asked, so content for the top buffer pages, which is obviously the silo structure that we've just set up. The geo-targeted pages is the most important to have spun content, or doesn't it matter? If you're building a one website, Robert, then the spun content doesn't really matter. But if you're going after the evergreen site model, which is if you're building a site for any industry or any niche, and you're going to be targeting that specific industry on a mass scale, so you're going after, let's say you want to start selling plumbing sites across the whole of the UK, or renting them out, or selling leads for them, then you should be going after the evergreen site model. In that situation, then very, very accurately, highly spun content is needed on all of the pages, all the buffer pages, as well as the Magic pages. But if you're only building one website, then spin text is completely irrelevant. You don't need it. You're just going to be putting fresh new content in. So, sorry, I'll let you answer the next ones, Bud. That was just one about my software, I think.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect, what you said there. Yeah, guys, the reason why we speak about content templates is for one key reason. We're focusing on blocks of information that we're putting in that provides our users with the best information possible to get their problems and their solutions solved. So when you're creating a spun content, you must keep that in mind, because you just don't want to throw a piece of rubbish spun content in, and you're just duplicating the stuff. It's not going to work. Google will filter like pages. What makes our system unique with this hybrid model is every time we deploy it, depending on how we tweak out our titles, our meta titles, utilizing the brand and those type of things, this is where we make the personality of the actual website different for a specific or different location. Does that make sense, guys? Here's a question here. What's the best way to reuse the silo when going to different geographical markets? Is it important to each site? Will we be able to create unique content? Okay, we've done that question there. Question about schema. Do you add schema JSON LD to every page? With the Magic pages, we put the schema LD into it. With the normal silo pages, you need not do it. If you've got schema for your contact page, I'd stick it on there and make it specific for that address. You don't have to have it site-wide on the actual site. So if we build out smaller sites and then use Magic Page, will it over-optimize that website? Over-optimization comes when you're building out your URL structure. So if we go back to Digital Marketers Toolbox and we look at the content architecture, when you got a duplication of a word used more than twice, so if your domain was showerdeluxe.co.uk/shower/shower trays, you've used shower 3 times, that's over-optimization. So this is why we keep on cutting back to the key things. In the URL architecture, you only want to have a word mentioned no more than twice. If you stick to that rule, then you'll be fine. So what you do with Magic Page is, now that you can see your blueprint, now you can start thinking to yourself, okay, we want to look at the shower repair lead generation. That's what we're after. So we've got everything about showers and stuff that we can fix and do whatever and sell. We want to target the repair side of it with Magic Page. Okay, shower repair is what we want to go after. So those words, we have to think about the tokenization and how it's going to spawn out when you actually deploy it. But what we're doing now is we're using cities. So we're going to go target the top cities, which will create 10, 20, 30 pages for the area that we're in. So you're not going to really get over-optimized if you're aware of that point before you start building it out. Does that make sense? Give me a 2 if that makes sense. What's great about the digital marketing blueprint now is we can actually see the language, we can see where the money flows, we can see how are we going to put this in? We can reserve that spot for the magic page. Okay. There's going to be a replay. Hey, Mike, when you folk ask me to replay.
Sorry, yeah, Darren's asked for a replay. Yes, there is going to be a replay, and on the replay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a page, and I'm going to put the previous webinar and this webinar together, because we've got a lot of people that have come on and don't know what DMT is, but they do use Magic Page. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put both on, and you can watch the pair, and that way you'll understand exactly what all of this is from the top down.
Yeah, on the previous course, sorry, Mike, on the previous webinar, Mark and I actually went through the actual build. We showed you how to build and drill, and we did all those exercises. On this one, we've done top level down to show you guys the output, the end results, and how we've imported it in to get the site live and ready.
I also had a lot of, yeah, there's another one from Stephen there, but I also had a lot of people asking me, because we sold out of the we sold out of the offer last time, so a few people have mentioned is there going to be something to sell? Ed and that and a few others have been asking. There will be, but it's very, very limited to the numbers that we're going to be able to give out, so I can't share the link with you, sorry Ed, but it will be on here. As soon as the webinar finishes, I have got a special offer that I've managed to talk about into doing, and it's basically said to me it's never happening again. So we've talked him into it, but you've got to take into account the cost of credits and stuff like that, as the people will know that it's using the system. It's costing him a fortune, so he's not really made any money previously from what we've done because of that. Sorry, that's just me answering that question for Ed and a few others that's asked. And then Stephen Brocklehurst has asked, Google Love Content, so that page you showed me does not have much content. Will that cause an issue? Matt's just built out the site framework there at the minute, so he's not put a lot of content into it. You add the content afterwards, but what this is creating is a skeleton structure for the websites in the most profitable manner possible, and then you obviously you then implement the content after that in the structure that you've shown you.
What we don't do in DMT, guys, DMT doesn't create content. What it does, it helps us create the skeleton key. Mark's into locksmithing, and DMT is essentially the skeleton key of that action market. So what's great about this is when we come in and we get down to the content architecture layer, we're getting the best questions, the best headlines, we're getting the keywords that people want. Those words we embed into our site. When we import them in, imagine this has been built now, and so now I get another client coming along that's interested in showers. I simply just come down to export manager, go to new blog, import it. I've got all my stuff all mapped out there. We come to Magic Page, we start setting Magic Page up, we turn this on, we deploy the stuff. Literally in a few hours, we've got a site that we can hand over to a content team to go write and drop all the articles in, because all the key components are there. With the shortcodes, we can change the brand name, the address, and that spawns out site-wide where we've embedded those tokens. And if we've got Spintax in and we build proper Spintax blocks, we can be showing banners, we can be showing ads, we have content showing specific things. So it makes production very streamlined and very, very efficient. And when you log into DMT for the first time, you get into the members area. On the homepage, we essentially have got short little videos that show you step by step this process that we've gone through. In 10 steps, we basically show you how we got to these end results. And you get the process maps and everything all there prepped and ready for you. So should we get on and jump onto the Magic Page settings now, guys?
Yep. Keith, are you there, mate?
Yep, I'm here. Just started to talk without unmuting. So, go on.
No, what I was going to say to the guys, we've just installed Magic Page. We've not set up databases or anything. This is a virgin install, and I just typed in services for now, but I'd rather let Keith just have his chat now. We want to go for the shower repair market. We've spoken everything about showers, shower enclosures, all the stuff that's contextually related to the market. if people come to our website, Google knows this thing is focused on website. No, it comes to our website. It's focused on showers, and these are the components of the showers, and these are the services that they offer. These are the things they're selling. Excuse me. But now we want to generate the lead generation side of the site, where we're going to basically target going out to the location and fixing the screens, resealing showers, settling trays that are askew, taking out old trays that are broken, renovating bathrooms. We're after that kind of business for the contractor side of things. Floor's yours, Keith.
Well, just as you were saying previously about your URL, where you're putting your URL structure there, you have to be very careful what you're doing. So again, if you've got shower in your main domain name, you don't want to have shower in there. So say yours was, so you could put shower repair. If you didn't have shower, you could put shower repair, or just put repair in, or like you say, your services, your engineer, whatever. Again, I would use the DMT to find the keywords for that and jiggle them about until I get something what's there. But again, it's important to keep an eye on. You might not have any repair with that being an e-commerce one, but you never know. Oh yeah, there you go.
There's a whole bunch. 590 shower repair, 590.
Yeah.
So there we can go see, guys.
Yep.
These are UK results. That shower repair that is 590. I think we should use shower repair, to be honest, because we haven't had domain yet.
Well, you've got it's called Sandbox, but so therefore it's not in the domain name anyway, so shower repair is going to be fine.
Yes.
You've got that. I don't bother now with the Google Maps API key. Since it went paid and stuff like that, and the amount of sites I've got, it would end up costing us a bloody fortune. So I don't bother that. I'll leave the cron service. Spintax support I always have enabled, and then the Spintax auto rewrite I will put that on as well, and just leave that as its default. And that then just basically will rewrite me pages every now and again, just to freshen them up a little bit for when the spiders come a crawling. The other thing what I would do is, God, save your settings, is you've got like the setting set to 1,000. I never go over like sort of 25 miles because I don't want to create like a month. I'd rather create 5 or 6 small sites as create one monster site, because I prefer being on page 1 2 or 3 times as being on page 1 once. It gives me more option of being clicked. So we've done that. So the next thing to do is go into the databases and pick your area.
Scotland, start there.
Oh, you've already got it filtered as well. So you've only got 117 locations, so that's fine.
Okay.
So if you want to go in Scotland, so that'll be fine. So continue to settings.
Just before you move on from there, Keith, can I just explain that at that section there, if you're applying your filters, especially if you're in the UK or the USA, it's a good thing to apply the filters and go after the larger areas first. Like we was explaining earlier, the larger areas get more traffic, which because they're going to get more traffic, it's going to build your relevance. So when you're doing them filters that we didn't go through with the MPP, try and target larger areas at the beginning, and you can always go in and change the filters at a later date. Sorry, mate, I'll shut up.
Yeah,
but that's perfect. Think about like geographical relevance is all around feeds through the door. If you're in a big city, much more people are going to phone. More people phone, more people browse your website. There's more traffic. Google sees it's busy. There's social signals. There's clicking. There's things even happening. Forms are getting filled in. That's going to make Google trust your website more. Then when we come back a while later, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks later, whenever you choose, let it sit for a while. Let it index. Let it basically cure. Then you can come back and filter and expand and open up all the long tails. And by that time, Google will just swallow those things up as well.
So now we've got obviously that set up. You would go into your magic page and so TLF.
Do we need to minify? Is there anything else we need to do on this page that's just good practice?
Not if you actually, when I'm building, because say this was a new niche for me, I would build my site out and get it all looking nice and get everything set up properly. And then I would make a backup of it, not minified, because what minified does is basically it changes the name of the plugin so that Google can't tell you've got the same plugin on every site. Well, of course, if you back that up and then you restore it again, and then again, and then again, and then again, you're going to have, you've gone back all the way about, you're going to have a footprint. So I always leave minified till the end. Again, it's creating that evergreen site. So when you go into magic page.
So guys, just remember this URL structure here, because what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to copy that there, and in your appearance menus, you're going to bind it to your menu structure, and you're going to bolt it on as another silo in your actual site. Okay, so we've got a magic page.
Yep.
Edit.
Yep. Now, as people sort of know, one of the first things I do in here is start adding my tokens, which is my X fields. I don't tend to have many, do I, Mike? Well, I have like sort of, you know, I have, if you scroll down, one of the beauties about magic pages, these X fields, where you've got like your overlay, you've got your phone number, you can put all sorts of different things in there. But then as you've got in there for Port Elizabeth, you can have different things in. And to me, that I put a video on every page, But obviously when I first built the site out, I just put the one video. And then as I look and see what pages are getting traffic or getting searches, I then add the videos for the relevant page. I create a video and just add it for the relevant pages. And obviously geo-relevant content can be added, and all sorts of stuff like that can be all just added in. And again, using DMT now, you can get all sorts of different stuff. And like you say, we can build up a site so that every time we deploy it, it's the same site, but it's completely different to the eyes of Google.
Yeah.
So you like them. So you've already got some, like say you've got an overlay there. You could have an overlay for one area, an overlay for a different area. So once you've got all them done, then basically, then you would go in and build your site in Elementor how you want it to look, which again, you would use all the data you've got from your DMT to build all that site out.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So do you want to sort of walk the guys through a basic build here? Just the basics to get them started so we can just deploy this. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Scotland, right?
Yep. Well, you want to pick a town in Scotland, so like Edinburgh, somewhere like that. Oh, Glasgow. Yeah.
Start there.
So you got 51 because we've only done 25 miles of Glasgow. You can bump that up if you want to get the whole.
Yeah, should we do Glasgow? Glasgow's probably the best, yeah. So they go from Glasgow. What is basically doing, guys, is if you've got where you stick your pin in the ground, it's the geographical relevance all the way around the pin, right? So what's cool about this is for every imp store, we can have one essential silo with magic page. So you can use subdomains and you can target specific areas with subdomains and then have all the magic pages spawned out once you have it's done right as well. So let's just say they're prepared to ride 100 miles. I know that the guys fly, sorry, they drive the whole of Scotland. That 100 miles is probably more than it. There's 100 locations. This is going to pick up all the small towns and everything else that's around there, right?
Yeah, that will pick up whatever locations are installed in that area according to your filters.
So where will the guys have to go to set the filters so they just pick up the cities? So we just build the city pages first.
Where you when you're in the settings, So when you go back into your databases, and where you've got Scotland, well, if you scroll up, if you look at Isle of Man's got filters on, and then you can go in there and you can put in whatever, you know, you can choose a count, you can choose a county, you can choose your, so you filtered that down to just 117 locations of Scotland. So maybe you've used the population size.
Can we, how do we go into?
Just uninstall a region. And
I just want to show the guys,
yeah. Click filters. What we've done here is we've chose locations with a bigger population than 20,000. But if you wanted to, if you wanted to install just major locations, I think we checked that and we got about 20. And then, or at the top menu, so don't just, I wouldn't click. Well, you can just show them that if you want. But then if you just click the very top bit first in the top box, what you'll get here. All right, you're not getting it. Delete the major location tab, and then click apply filters. And then come back into it. Right, now go back in, click filters again. Now click the top one, and what you'll see is if you put in a letter there, because
you might have typed a letter in. No. There's a company in Scotland.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, we looked at them the other day on this same site, so I don't know why it's not.
With 7,000 locations, filters, population minimum 0.
No, you don't need to do anything else. You should click that and it should pull in the counties. There's a glitch going on, something there stopping it pulling them in. I don't know what.
Check it now. Magic page, filters. Let's just go to 20,000 again because that was good.
Yeah.
Click apply filters. It might be because we had it installed. If you apply them filters and then install it, but then go and click on a different area and I'll show you what I mean. So you install that now. Now click on the northwest.
Northwest. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, just click that and just click in the top box. It might be something on this site that's stopping it pulling. It might be because we've built and unbuilt and built and unbuilt and built and unbuilt on the same site. So when we've removed all the locations, we might not have done it right.
Okay.
But normally that'll pull in all your counties there. Sorry, Keith. I'll let you carry on, mate.
Okay.
Okay. So now we know where we got the 117 locations from. That's filtered it down. So we're only going to be building for 20,000. So we put Glasgow in again.
That is Glasgow. Our locations, the guys will drive 150 miles radius.
Yeah.
That gives us 100 pages. That's fine.
Like I say, you can build them up as big or as small as you want. I like to keep mine small, and again go for, you know, the bigger population areas, not so much the little towns and villages and stuff like that, unless you know they're actually getting searches. The auto install locations, which are hovering over, basically what I always do first is just give that a save, because what that'll do is actually create the locations. So if you scroll down, your save button should be somewhere. Where's the save button gone? Oh, you need to expand your publish bit.
Pardon?
You need to expand the publish so you can actually save it.
Yeah. That's the wrong one. Update.
Okay, yeah, that'll do.
There we go.
And then you click auto install locations, and then, because what that's done at the moment is that's created 113 locations like straight away, which obviously is not quite normal for a normal site. So to auto install the locations, you would choose option 1, which would delete all the locations, and then basically once you've done that, if you click on it, choose option 1. Yep. Then if you go back in and click on the 0.
This one, yeah?
Yep, 0 locations of. And then what I normally do is install about 20 or 30. So if you just click on the install 10 auto locations.
This one, yeah.
Yeah. And then it'll install 10. And just click on it again. And it'll install 10. And then just X out of that. And then that is basically it done. Now, what a lot of people do, they'll do that. If you click on update as well, just to make sure it's saved it. I'm a bit paranoid at update. So what a lot of people do is they'll do that, and then they'll get up the next morning and they'll be like, oh, my site's still 100, like I've only done 20 pages. Why hasn't it created any more? And that's because of your cron job for your site. It doesn't automatically update them 20 days, like the next day. It might take it a day and a half to actually kick in, but once it kicks in, then it will actually start to build up on a daily basis, and you'll see it going on a daily basis until it'll build that site out over 30 days. So it will, obviously if you go like 1,000, it's going to build more pages a day than what it is for 113. That's not going to take, well, it's going to take about less than 10 a day, isn't it? So
yeah. Well, here's the thing is, what's important, guys, is frequency of post is important. When your site's publishing over time, it shows activity. If you bought a silo and you just let it go and it sits there, you'll find it you'd rank. And if you don't keep on working your site and traffic stops coming through your site and stuff, then your rankings will start going down. So what's nice about this is the frequency of posts is always just dripping something out, dripping something out, dripping something out over time. It's consistent. Just plugging away, which is great. It's really good for your site for that to happen.
You can also change the number of days that it drips it out over. So if you're doing bigger sites, you can change that 30.
yeah,
That's
so
cool.
whatever you want. So you can do it, make it build itself for a full year if you want. 3,600 pages for a year, it'll do 10 pages a day, every single day for a full year.
That's perfect. Okay.
So once that's done, then basically I put that site to one side and just forget about it for a month, and let it build itself out.
Okay, so in Elementor, it's just like normal, guys. You draw out your plan, you can come in here, but can you check how we've got all the localizations in there now? Inside the page. So there's our cities token. There's a cities count with the radiuses. Obviously, we don't want wedding services. This is now shower repair. Shower repair. Let's just update that for a minute. And what we'll do now is we'll quickly just look at these shortcodes and I'll show you how we add these to the navigation. I wanted to ask you a question here with regards to this. Will the magic page create the shower repair page for the actual menus, appearance menus, or do we have to actually copy the full URL and stick a custom menu in?
You'll need to stick a menu in. It doesn't.
You mean, I thought using about the city shortcode did that. That's what the city shortcode does. It builds a menu which connects to the 10 closest locations to the page that you're currently on. So if you're on Glasgow, the 10 or 5 or however many links you set the city shortcode for will connect to those pages that are closest to Glasgow. But then if you go over to the other side of Scotland, it'll have a completely different menu, but every single menu is connected to the closest locations to that particular page, meaning it gives you that geo relevance of every single page, because every single page, you can also do the same thing inside of your schema. We have a special shortcode for schema which can pull in areas served inside of the schema, which is also the 10 closest locations to the page that you're currently on, which again gives you that geo relevance for every single page.
So I've just called it shower repair.
Yep.
I'm on the right one. Save that. It's after home. Why am I not seeing that menu? Site here. Why is that menu not coming up? That's weird. Must be the wrong one.
What are you trying to do?
I want to add the actual, there's the magic page there. I want to add to the
Right, you can't.
navigation.
Go to your custom links and you type in the URL. So copy your URL from the top, sandbox, whatever it is, /shower repair /Glasgow. So you want to change,
Yep.
change that.
Glasgow.
Yep. And then grab that, paste that in your custom URL.
Okay, there we go. I knew it was something like that.
And then
Shower repair. We'll add that there. Shift
and that'll
up.
add the main Glasgow one to every single.
And that should give us our silo. Let's go back. Back. There we go. Bathroom, shower repair. Why is that menu not showing it? Weird.
Have you done it in the right menu?
Yeah. It's my silo menu. So I'll come to appearance, menus, we'll go to widgets. With the video silo plugin, guys, you just drag a widget in and it builds all the URLs for you. So you can see we've got it over there. Let's make that 20. Let's see if that does anything. Weird. That must be that page. So if you look at what we have here, this gives us all our geographical pages now. That's built in. So it doesn't matter where we go. There's Stirling, Springburn, shower repair in the West End, shower repair in Springburn, shower repair in Torrey. All our geographical relevance is built up over this all over here. So here we've got static pages. We're dropping into the shower silo. We can look at shower installation. There's our shower pages. We can see our brand names. We can come in and tweak and edit these things. That's lowercase, should have been uppercase like that. And whatever we put in the brand name will come up in these menus. And then over here we can see all our pages. So find our stores in Springburn, York Hill, Roadston, Rutherglen, Shuttleton, Wishaw. So obviously if we bought a great page, there we've got our content templates in this page. The whole site structure is basically built out for us. So within 2 or 3 hours, you essentially can deploy a site, especially if you've got it all nicely done, because all the hard work's done, all the connections, all the geolocations, everything is basically done and dusted and sorted out for you. If you've got any questions, guys, we've just shown you guys how to build a hybrid website using Silo architecture and Magic Page. And we've shown you how we've used the cities and the people with more than 20,000 people in the area to pop up on our pages. So here's a question from Stephen. He bought 100 pages. So how would you quickly add content to 100 pages? When you're building your templates in Menterprise, not Menterprise, in Elemental, if you look at a lot of the top directory sites, they're going to say, our service, we can help you with this in this location. By using your tokenization, you start dropping in the message. And by using Spintax, you can have little blocks of content that you create. And that creates a content. So when these pages change, these localized keywords are going to start dropping in as content tokens, because you just have to put in a /cities. If we edit this page, we're going to Elemental. We click on the edit block here. When we add just cities, that gives us that over there. When we add this one here with the radius, it gives us those. So we can take this up to, let's just say 150. And we update that. It'll show us those locations. This is the Spintax. There's our X field number. There's our location. We turn into URL. And this is showing us the WP menu over there, the shortcode over there. So what's great about this is we can come in and we can actually apply any template to this page. We can come over here, we can go to pages, we can say, show me construction. Let's just say estate. Let's just say that's the template we like. And now we can start dropping these shortcodes into our template. See there? Let's get the next one. Come down. Stick that in there. For this video, I can come in over here and I can take my shortcode from plugins, post snippets, and if I take the name, address, phone number, that's NAP. I just type in over here. Let's say update. And I'll put that address in there for us. Watch the video, our agents. Can you see how quickly we just created a page? We can come in and change our imagery. Now, if we view this page, let's see what we end up with. Perfect location. There's our keywords. Once we've got our NAP right in there, our videos, I'll stick my brand in over there. So guys, can you see how quickly we can start building our sites and we can embed those geographical relevant keyword terms into our actual site? You guys got any questions so far?
I see a ton of questions now. If you want me to run through some of them.
So watch this trick. Site shortcode. Click on my shortcode. I stick my NAP in. Let's say update. And boom. Did you see what I did there, guys? I'll show you again. With Elementor, when you click on this dynamic tagging element over here, and you go down and you say shortcode, you click on shortcode, and you take your post snippet that we've created and we stuck it in there. Now we can take elements of this and we can embed it, we can get directions, we can do all sorts of that. So I'm just gonna view this page. And we just tokenized our maps. So for the brand, there's a link to the hair salon. So if there was a shop in Scotland, we'd have a Scottish location. So there's Sighthill. Let's go click into that one. So this is what we mean by tokenization. We can come around. So we can have the name of that location in here. We can have all sorts of things. We can have our social connections. And obviously these things will get deleted. But we can spend more time on the site. We can spend more time on the persuasion layer. Because remember, what we've done now with DMT very quickly is, first of all, we started with the domain. Next, we looked at competitors and we drilled into the market. With that information we got from that, we mapped out the most profitable URLs that we found. In the meta structure and the headlines and the content blocks, we start adding the brand, we start adding the local keywords, we start adding all our calls to actions, we start embedding our schema, and then we work on our persuasion layer. That's our copy. Does this get the people to pick up the phone and call us? But if you look at what we've done, literally in 3 hours, we've got a 300-page website that's going to be dripping out content over the next 30 days. It's silo-structured silos. We've got a 3-layer deep silo structure site. That's all. This thing's going to rank. Think about what's happened here. On this domain, we've got probably 100 or 200 pages. If we're dealing with another local guy that does shower repairs, how many pages is he going to have? 16? So if you do site colon shower repair, Let's just do this exercise quick. We got shower repair in UK. 36 million. We're going phrase match. That's why. Crazy, eh? 67. So we're going to go in title. 10,000. So in reality, you're dealing with 8,000 pages that have shower repair in the URL and in the actual title from 38 million. So if we take one of these guys here, and we go site colon, come on, Google. They got their website, they mentioned it twice. How many times have you got shower repair mentioned on your website? Many times, right? So who's got more topical relevance? So then a lot of people get jammed up and they get de-indexed because it's repeating the same thing over and over and over again, right? What we've done is with the hybrid model, we've introduced structure. We're talking about shower installation, screens, heads, walk-in showers. It's all about showers, everything. And you could have this whole site just with beautiful pictures, showing people what a beautiful shower installation could look like, showing before and after, grotty, new. And you start playing with all those ideas. You could have a great website full of imagery and short little descriptions. And then on the geographical side, where we're using Magic Page, we're pulling leads. We're getting people to call us because these things are targeting specific locations. So if we say, let's just take Rutherglen as a keyword. There's nothing. Who's going to pop? You're going to pop. 2 results in that locale. So can you see why, guys, when we bought our websites and we bought them out with the URL, focus on where the traffic is, our meta, we start adding the brand. In our headlines, we start adding localization. In our content, we're embedding localization. Our schema is telling exactly what that thing or object is. Our persuasion is the story that gets them to click, the call to action, the tripwire, the thing that leads them into that actual form. When you stack your layers of language, your websites are contextually, thematically, and geographically more relevant than what your competitors are, purely by design. So what makes DMT great is it gives us the intel that we need for the language, but then it also gives us back the time where we can actually slow down and really think and look at our competitors and seeing how they're using their call to actions and how they're using components on their site. We can build out dynamic content templates, stack them in the right order in the right places, and when we deploy, it's just a matter of coming into our snippets and changing the brand, changing the address, and those things get deployed and they all sit in there. And that's basically the process to create a hybrid site with Magic Page and Digital Marketers Toolbox. We'll be using proper silo structured content. We're using the genetic code, the DNA braid that gives us back from the semantic content editor. It gives us all the questions. It gives us all the related keywords. We've got all those things embedded into our pages at the right places in the right places in time through the silo architecture. And then on the Magic Page side, this is dynamically dropping out our pages that are targeted to sweep up and capture all the long tail keywords and all the local geographical keywords. When we go to our GMB page and we register the legitimate business and the person that's going to do the service that works in this zone, then you got your maps, you got your listings. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a 3 if this is all coming together nicely for you. Okay, so let's see some questions here. Is it possible to board out more than one single silo with Magic Page? You have to create a subdomain for every silo. Magic Page only creates one silo per subdomain. It's basically one per WordPress install.
You should tell them the reason for that. The reason we do it that way. Go on, you tell them.
No, you can say it.
Yeah, the reason we do it that way, guys, is simply because we've tested it and tested it and tested it. I didn't even understand it proper, why it worked. I just knew that the testing showed that if we create keyword times location, then it basically gets seen as spam by Google and the sites get dropped. You only need the silo structure to be the central focus point of your actual website, and then all of the surrounding areas, that's where you create your big long content pages that incorporate all of your keywords that you get from DMT, and that way they will rank long term. Now, we've been doing that for a long time and not understand exactly why until Matt explained it to me. So that's the reason we only have a single silo. It's it makes it bulletproof.
Yeah, you build your, because think about this, guys. You could have Amazon products on your silo pages because we know that they're related. So you could have before and after on the pages for certain things that guys have done as installation. So we're going through all the DMT silos and we're creating this type of idea. That can be tokenized, that can be templated. That then makes the content easy to generate, and it's got the same theme running all the way through. But for Google to see is that this is a great site, topically relevant, all these related keywords. Any keyword that you take, you're basically going to pick up traffic for. And I've shown the guys many examples where we've done this, especially with an agency site. Just through topical relevance, we're beating a lot of digital marketing agencies. That domain gets 30,000 impressions a month. It was 40,000, but with Corona now it's dropped. But still, it's a lot of impressions for a site that took me 3 hours to build. So let's check the next one. Martin's asking, is Magic Page a separate tool or is it included in DMT? They're separate tools. Think about DMT as the brain. That's the neural network that you use to extract the language from the market and to understand how this market generates leads. Once you have those core components or those core ideas mapped out and clear in your head, then use a language to set the foundation, and then on the foundation, we stack our information. Through the stackable system, we end up with a very solid, thematically and contextually relevant website that serves the needs of the people. Because think about this, your shower is leaking. The leak's running down there, it goes through the floor. Next minute, you have to fix your ceiling because you've got a big yellow spot in your ceiling. You leave it, it starts rotting away. Then the chalk melts and you got a big hole. The cost gets more and more and more, right? So obviously, our job is to get the guys to come in and look at it, right? And that's what we have to do. Okay, so let's check the next one. If I start with major locations only and then down the road we add more, do you have to uninstall the database and reinstall it? Keith, what's the process for that whole thing there? Because usually when we add the cities first and then we come back and we add the low-hanging fruits, say the places with like 5,000 or more, is it just a matter of changing the filter, or do we have to uninstall and reinstall?
You have to just change the filter. You'd need to uninstall the database obviously first to get to the filtered blocks, and then because if you go back into your settings, it's not really something I do, but if you go back into your databases, to get back to the filters, you need to uninstall the region, then just reinstall it, and then go back in.
So you would just essentially come in and say, give us all the cities with 5,000, apply, 474, and then install.
Yeah. Like
That's pretty easy.
It's not something I would do per se, because I just rather build another site.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly how I do it to grow the sites. Is I wait till the traffic builds up on the larger areas and wait till we're getting calls and everything through the larger areas. And then when I go in, I wouldn't go from 20,000 straight to 5,000, but I may go from 20,000 to maybe 10 or 15, and then it'll chuck another 40 or 50 areas in that are smaller, and they'll tend to pop right to the top really, really quick. And because they jump to the top so quick because of the relevance of the other bigger areas, they tend to start getting traffic instantly and start generating calls pretty quick, which means it then helps the site a little bit better. And then a week or a month or two later, I will then wait till they're all generating loads of traffic and then dwindle it down to the smaller and smaller areas. And we've got sites with like, I mean, some of my sites have got like still 30, 40,000 pages indexed, and they've been indexed for years, absolute years, and they still rank.
Google's not going to throw out the index if the phone rings and someone picks it up and says, how can I help you? But if people click on the site, they go there and they bounce and they're gone and they don't come back again, Google's going to notice that.
I did a video on this a few weeks ago about how rank and rank can ruin your site's SEO, and it was exactly based around that. When people are not picking up the thing, people go back to Google and they redo the search and they find someone else, and then they never go back and do the search again. Google sees that and thinks, right, these guys are giving what they want and these guys are not, and it affects your SEO. And MPP enables you to, and Magic and Lead Simplify enable you to change the site around. So if somebody's only answering the phone between 9 and 5, you can actually sell the evening traffic with a couple of clicks and set up a schedule inside of Lead Simplify so that your phones are always being answered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you're not actually getting people backing out of your site and going to the next one down the list, which negatively affects your SEO now that Google's got a brain.
Because check this as well, guys. If you think about the call center industry, every single call agent gets trained. Your job is to take this customer off the market. He must be hopped to the next step in the process that he doesn't keep on looking to speak to somebody else. So if he's on the phone, you got 15 minutes to basically convert him and get him opted in. And that's how the game works. And they do it day in and day out, and they've done it for years, and they've driven half the world mad with the incessant calling. But that's the key thing. And in your website design, it's the same idea. You have to pull that customer off the market as fast as possible. So what we've shown you guys today is a way to really build dynamic websites, really enhance your productivity by working smart, taking the time to see. DMT's taken all the hard work and it's collated and sorted all the information out for you. And we've got a lot of training videos in the members area, which I'll show you shortly, where we actually show you all kinds of things, we help you, and there's a lot of support. What this does is it gives us a structured way that works really, really well to target the geographical relevance. Because remember, there's a one question here that they're asking, Jesse's asking, why are we using Elementor? I just like using Elementor. I'm happy to use that tool. You can, some themes don't work with Magic Page. I don't know which they are, but there are one or two that don't work. But I found it's Elementor. Number one, it's solid. Number two, I can pop out really nice, pretty looking sites very, very quickly. It plays nicely with other plugins. And if we look at our plugin page, we're only using like 4 or 5 different plugins, which means we've got very light sites. They load fast and they're not bogged down. You can use any other builders you guys want. It doesn't impact DMT, and Video Silo plugin doesn't influence anything that the builders do. So Lily's asking, she's confused with how the menus work. If we go to appearances menus, if you look at DMT, we have these keywords that are at the top, like shower and bathroom ideas. When you build your websites, you only want to show your top level keywords. You don't want to have all the categories nested underneath it. If you do that, you must remember that a menu goes site wide. As soon as you start showing all the categories, it creates a thing called theme bleeding. And what that does is, if you have a conversation about or a topic about 3 different things, all of a sudden your whole site, when the search engines read it, it's jumbled. However, when you keep the silos tight, let's just get rid of that one there. When you keep your silos tight and everything's focused and themed, the search engines can read the story and say, okay, this part of the site's about that part about the site's about this other topic, and that's about the third thing that these people are selling. It makes it easier for the site search engines to understand, and they're easier to read. So all we're doing is we're coming to view all, and when you look at the structure, you can see there's the first one and then they're nested. You only add that. As we go down, you only add that one, and that creates your silo structure. This is what we're calling bolt-on silos. So if you look at what we can do with the tool, we can bolt on Magic Page as a silo, one silo on your site. And we know that that one silo is going to target a specific geographical service-based region. We then can take the other silos that we have and we can bolt them on. So if we're dealing with a brand new site or we're dealing with an existing site that's old, we don't have to rearrange that whole website. We can simply create one silo, import it, come to your navigation, bolt it on, and you can leave the rest of the site alone. And over time, you can optimize and 301 where needed. And that's how we work on a lot of sites. So we don't disrupt the current traffic, we just add more content in a structured way to an existing site. Does that make sense, guys, with regards to the menus? Give me a one if that makes sense.
You know, you can also, once you set up a Google GMB, like you said, you can actually change the central location of your website. You go into the locations tab underneath Magic Page. So if you click on the Magic, just wave over the Magic Page menu on the left, go into locations. So let's say Glasgow is your central location. You can actually go in here and stick your NAP information inside of Glasgow, and remove the Glasgow central location, so all of your GMB NAP information is correct. And then what you do inside of your Magic Page is you make that your central location, and that way anywhere you use the short codes, anywhere on the website, location, county, region, zip code, longitude, latitude, and all the other stuff that work on Magic Page, they will automatically pull in this information, because this becomes your NAP information. So your central location of your website is your Google map, and it works just using them shortcodes throughout the whole site everywhere. So when creating a GMB and a site structure that fit together, you can create a site that its central location becomes your actual GMB, which in most cases is the actual location of the business, and then you build a radius around the GMB, and all you need to do is change the information that's in there. So if you look at what you've got, your latitude, your longitude, you've got your zip code or your postcode if you're in the UK, your region, your county, country, and then at the top you'll have the location, which would actually be that person's actual location where they're based, and that will pull all the NAP information, which is name, address, and phone number. I always say postcode, name, address, and phone number, which then becomes, so your site really becomes geo-relevant to the business, super relevant. And all of your other pages, wherever you've used your location shortcodes, you're then in a situation where every single one of them pages will automatically become relevant to that business. And if you export the site and import it for a new customer who's got a different NAP, then all you do is you change your central location and add their information in, and it will work identically. So these can be set up so that the central location coincides perfectly. I don't even think I've ever done a video on this. Coincides perfectly with the customer's GMB.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
I don't think I've shown you that. That's why. I don't think I've mentioned that before to people. I think that's I don't think I've actually done a video on that yet. I probably should.
Okay, we've got a question here. Thomas is asking, a lot of modern design uses full page rather than sidebar panel structure. How would you work with a full page web design? What you simply do to get your navigation in is you use the shortcodes, the WP silo link, you copy and paste it, and it embeds your silo structure into the actual content for you. So if you don't have menus, we can use the shortcode over here.
So if you make that full page, if you go down to the settings tab there and just make it the Elementor screen full page so they can see what you mean. You know how to do that? No, sorry. Do you want that back open? Right, so if you click on the little cog on the bottom left-hand side, click on that. Now you click the drop-down menu where it says default, and then you click Elementor Canvas. Oh, not that one. You just want the Elementor Canvas. That'll get rid of the head from the site as well. And then click update. Then what will happen is you'll have a full page.
It's a screenshot taking time.
And what that enables you to do is then pop your shortcodes in throughout the whole page. I know it's easier to show on a thing, so you can delete that top bit, and you've got an actual site completely set up there with the beautiful looking theme. So when you view it, it takes up the whole page and there's no sidebars or anything. And that's how I tend to build mine. I tend to prefer them like that, but some people keep them.
So there you go, guys. There we dropped the navigation in over there. So you could have a little block over here, somewhere, perfect locations. We could take this shortcode over here, I could cut that out, Control X. This is shift this up here quickly. We come down, we stick this in here. Look at our cities, we go under. Update that. And when we view this page, there we just dropped in the navigation. So that's a dynamic map we embedded into the map. There we got the shortcode that gives us that. So you can see how very quickly, by making great content templates, we end up with a beautiful looking website. There's a shower repair silo. Okay, so there's another one. Jesse's asking, what is the best way to add unique article content on each of the pages built out with Magic Page without hitting a duplicate content penalization? The way this works the best is you want to basically create a template that speaks to that locale, and there's certain elements you can add to the page that does this.
Yeah, you've got your Spintex shortcodes down the bottom of the page. So if you click Edit Magic Page at the top. Oh, not that one. The one on the left of it.
This one.
No, yeah, it was. If you go back to the initial page you were on, go back to view the page.
Which one? This one, yeah.
Just back to the page that you were on. Just so view page. Click view page again.
View page, sorry.
Yep, hit that one, and then on the top bar it says Edit Magic Page next to where it says Edit with Elementor. Click on that. So what we've created inside a Magic Page is you've got, if you scroll down to the bottom, we've created a kind of a platform where you can see where it says Spintex shortcode, and we've put paragraph 1. If you just click edit on that for me a second. Right, what we can do, you see, like we've got the brown cut. It's a good job we didn't put anything bad in there, isn't it? We're like,
Yeah.
shit, what have we done? Right, so basically what this does, you can add spin text inside of here for paragraph 1, and spin text for paragraph 2, and spin text for paragraph 3. And what it'll do is it'll spin every single paragraph, and it will also spin between each of the sections, so that you could have that as paragraph 1, and you could have 50 paragraphs in there, and you could have all of those paragraphs spun. So then what will happen is we'll automatically spin between each one, and you can have paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, your headlines, headline 1, 2, 3, and those spin text shortcodes on the Magic Page enable you to do that really, really easy. And then what you can also do is you've got underneath that bit something called a location set, which enables you to then say, only show this content in
context for the guys quickly.
Okay, go on, you're cool. And then I'll show them underneath once you get to it, the location sets, because that's what it is location relevant data. So if you want specific data to only show to Liverpool, and you've got a Northwest website, you can set a radius with the location sets, and it'll only be shown to the on the pages within, say, a 5-mile radius of Liverpool. I don't know if it makes sense because I'm talking really fast, as always. So go on, you're going to stick to.
So you can basically, what you're saying is you can get to drop your stuff in like that.
Yep, just pop it in each one, yeah, because and then do it in each one so we can see which one it's going to be, and then do that again, and then click save. Copy the shortcode, and don't forget to click update. And then you go back to edit with Elementor after you've updated. Yep, paste it into the page somewhere.
Stick it in there, yeah.
Have you put the city shortcode in as well? Oh, it's already on there. Yeah, cool. Okay, so now click update on that page and then just view it. Scoot down the page a little bit. The brown cow mirror showers. So it's used the spin text. Now, if it goes to a different page, on the Magic Page, you might have to scroll up to hit the city shortcode. Wrong. You left them right at the top, I think.
I think I took him out.
Why are the city shortcodes not showing? Have we got the central location set?
We didn't put
Yeah,
it
I think
in.
he took it out, and I think he might have put it as.
No, 0 locations. Click the 0 a couple of times and install a few locations. You see on the auto, yeah, you need to click that.
Oh, it's because we uninstalled it, didn't we?
That's right. If you uninstalled it, that would help.
Okay, you've got that set to click the tick that's auto install locations, so all locations are done. I'll do that, yeah.
Again. Pick a location, build a location there.
Just click the tick, and that'll just install everything, and then click update. It's because you've got to press the number 1 or number 2, which. Right, now if you go back to that page and flick to the next one, I know we're making it seem really complicated now, but so you review that
Cool.
page.
Bring all the cities in. Let's view this page. There you go. There's our cities.
So click on any of them, and when you scroll down and have a look at it, it should be different each time.
The green cow. So we go to Denniston.
But then in addition to that, if you go back to Edit Magic Page, just to make it so you can make it even more relevant, scroll to the bottom and say you go to create new location set. Click on that. Right, we can name it whatever we want, but if you click on the drop, click on. All right, yeah. Label it. Just call it Scotland. Yeah. Click on Glasgow. So start typing Glasgow. Choose location. Type in Glasgow and then select it when it pops up. Okay, and then you set this 5 mile radius or 5 locations, whichever comes first. So what it'll do is the lesser of the 2. Okay, it's going to be 5 locations, and then you click save. No. Save location set above it there. And then when you update the page, if you add your spin text shortcodes inside of your X fields, now you've done this, what will happen is, right, scroll down, create a new X field. I might as well show you how to do it while we're on. Create a new X field, right? So then paste the, label it paragraph 1.
This one?
Yeah, label spin text shortcode paragraph 1. Right, and then what you're going to do is you're going to paste your spin text shortcode in there. Okay, you've pasted your location set, so that's not going to work. Your spin text shortcode, that where it says spin text paragraph 1, spin text underscore para 1.
Oh, that one there.
Copy that, paste that in there. Now, so basically what that is, that's going to be your catch-all data. Then if you see add custom location and value underneath where it says paragraph 1.
Were you seeing this?
Edit again. Click edit.
Again.
Oh, there.
Underneath the blue writing, click that, and then add your location set there. Right.
This one.
And then just put in content 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there just for now. Right. On the right in the custom value. Right. So basically now what's going to happen if you save and update this, and then
saved. Yeah.
you have to click update on the page, so it saves it. Right, now what's going to happen is any location within a 5 mile radius of Glasgow will show the information you put in to the location shortcode. I don't think you updated the page.
He needs to add paragraph 1 to the page.
It was that one. Oh, no, you need to add the X field instead of paragraph 1. Sorry.
It's this one there.
Yep.
That's a shortcode.
Add that one underneath where you've put the spin text paragraph, so you'll be able to see the difference underneath on the page.
Yep. Now update.
So anywhere within a 5 mile radius now will show whatever you put into that, and then all the other pages will show you spin text shortcodes. And all the other ages, we're not just a 5 mile radius, but up to 5. See where it says content 1, and that one says jumped over the moon. But if you go out to areas further away, further than 5 away, so if you go to the one to the farthest right of it, that should then pull in the same on both lines. So what you're doing is location specific data, which enables you then to have location specific phone numbers, email addresses, NAP information based on specific clients in specific areas. And you can set individual GMB clients into individual specific central locations on your site. So you can have multiple GMB clients who rent your website off you, and the central location of each GMB could be in different places. So one in Glasgow, and you could have one in Manchester, you could have one in Liverpool, you could have one in Miami, and you can run them all on the same site and have circles around each one for the location specific data, and you only ever need one page to do it.
That's classic. Really... So that really answers the question well. To make that unique is because of that there.
I use that a lot for videos, for text, for maps. Because for driving directions maps, you can put a driving directions map on for a specific area. You can put, like I say, different videos on for an area. You can pull text off Wikipedia and put it in for a specific area.
That's
makes
classic.
that so relevant.
Yeah. So here's a question: is there step-by-step training ready for Magic Page? For DMT, there is. When you come to our members area, when you sign up, we essentially have our courses that take you through a lot of detail. You guys have all seen this. When you log in for the first time, what we do is we walk you through the basics through these videos of how to use DMT, and then we guide you all the way through the process. On the Magic Page side, guys, is there training to help the guys do all this kind of stuff?
Yep, I've got a training course called MPP Quick Start, which most people should know about in the group. If they don't, if they want to contact us, I can give them a link.
Yeah, if you can send it to me as well, that'll be perfect, Keith, just so I can check up on it as well. So Robert's asking here, if your DMT research gave you the shower repair as the main keyword, would it be better to have a domain with showerrepairfast.com, for example? Robert, it all depends what you build. If you're focusing on an exact niche, then yes, focus on that and you can use that in the domain. If you want to focus on more plumbing type of stuff, then I wouldn't use that specific keyword in the actual domain name. So it all depends on the model. It all depends on what the purpose of the website is. Like, what's the goal of this company? Like, if our job's to get our contractors to go out and actually fix the showers. That's what we're wanting. So again, that's why we've built the site the way we've done this for shower repair. But with here's the thing about the exact domain names. When you use the exact domain name, you're bound to that specific niche. You have no scope to move wider out, if that makes sense. However, if the keyword's related in a contextual way and there's a high relevance, then yes, you can use it in the domain. But what you use in the top, it limits you further down when you're actually mapping out the site's architecture because of over URL optimization. So if you look at the hair salon, we'll have brand name hair salon dot whatever, then we'll have /bridal /wedding /hair and makeup. Does that make sense? Lulu, there is step-by-step training for Magic Page. Okay, Michael says he's got it. Excellent.
I've added some DMT into my course over the last month or so, or a couple of weeks ago.
So Edo's asking, it says, will this work for newbies? There's a lot of confusion in my head. Is spinning, there's a step-by-step training available? Yeah, there is, guys. Look, guys, if you brand new, there is a bit of a learning curve because you are watching advanced things. It's not like a matter of just setting up a website. But here's the nice thing about it: if you're a new guy, you don't have to work with all this tokenization. The Magic Page stuff, you have to use tokens to do it. But you can write normal content and stick it in the page. Build a site, write your content. You don't have to do the tokenization. When it comes to Magic Page, it's better to tokenize if you're going to be utilizing the site multiple times. But that's advanced. You have to learn that. That's something you want to strive to get to, because when you do this, you end up saving yourself a lot of time. But tokenization and content templates and all that kind of thing, where we're working with dynamic environments, is when you're building multiple sites in a specific niche or market. So there's a learning curve, but there's a lot of great support in the groups, and there's also a lot of videos you can go through to actually show you all the stuff that we've done. How would you do this for a real estate site? In terms of asking how would you do this for real estate, it depends on the location where you're working, what you're doing in the real estate. Are you selling? Are you? It's all based on what the actual service or product is. And what we're showing you today with DMT and with Magic Page, we can build any site. We can target any service. We can target any industry with the way we showed you to create these hybrid sites today. So, answer your question, Tim. Give me a 1 if it does. Philip's asking, do we add videos from this video silo on the Magic Page sites? You can add any video you want. Video is media. It's up to you. The only thing is the reason why I don't use the video when I add it. Where we over here. We come to video silo and we actually import the silos. The video that gets imported from YouTube will be an exact match of the keyword that you've got in your slug or URL. So I typically don't like doing that. I rather work with Mentorprise or other types of tools or Content Factory. We extract the stuff and then we actually embed our own videos in. I personally don't put them on every single page. Some people do if they publish a site and just let it sit for a while. But I prefer adding things rather than having to go sit and delete the stuff later on.
I create a video for, like you say, I would create one for shower repair, which would be for the main location, which would be Glasgow, and then I put it on, and then, like I say, once the site started to take some traction, then I'll start adding videos for the other pages, for like the pages outside of Glasgow, like Edinburgh, stuff like that, and just build it out that way. And that way, it's always relevant. It's changing. Google loves videos. You know, obviously having a video on seems to help your site to index better. So you can add videos, but like you say, I wouldn't just have any random video putting on my site.
Okay, here's another question there. Yeah, random videos, you don't know what you're getting, and it's just fetching it from YouTube, so it's better not to put it in. It's just you create yourself more work. I would just put my own one in as a shortcode, and like he said, it's the easiest. How much work or content is needed to keep ranked? It depends on the market that you're in. It depends on how much frequency of posts these markets do, how much time your competitors do. If you look at most sites, the guys that have got SEO guys, they probably got a blog and they're blogging. With the hair salon markets and all those kind of things, or the plumbing or the service-based markets, there's only so much you can say about it. And most competitors are out doing their work. They're not blogging and creating content. So it depends. It depends on what market you're in. It's not a question we can actually answer, to be honest. But the way we can check in how many times they've mentioned a word that we're targeting on this site, we just use a site colon like I showed you guys earlier, and that will help you establish roughly how much content you would need when you break in. So Mark's asking here, for the localized silo, i.e. city silo, can you link to other websites, i.e. londonshowerrepair.com, or just a name address on the map page? I don't actually understand that question. For the localized silo or city silo, can you link to any other websites? What do you mean by, Jim, could you just, sorry, Mike, could you just clarify what you mean by link to any other website, like londonshowerrepair.com? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
I know what I do on my site, because I have a main hub site, and then I'll have like sort of 4 supporting sites there. And on each of them supporting sites, again, using the Xfields and location sets, for like me Clearwater pest control, I've basically got my Largo site. When it gets the Clearwater pest control page on Largo, it links to my Clearwater site, my main site. And the same for me, Pinellas Park, the Largo, the Clearwater page will link to the Clearwater site. So all them 4 then all link into one site, which then boosts my Clearwater site because it's got links coming back from them. I'm not sure if that's what he means by that. Well, that's
Yeah, it's a bit of a vague question. I wasn't too sure on that one. Jesse's asking, yeah, have you guys ever worked with Thrive themes for a theme, and does it work with Magic Page and DMT? I know Thrive works with DMT with Video Silo plugin. There's no conflict over there. I'm not sure, guys. Have you guys used Thrive with Magic Page?
It doesn't work properly with Magic Page. The only two that don't, that I know of, are Oxygen and Thrive. We're trying to make it work with Thrive. It works with Divi, it works with Elementor, it works with nearly all the other ones. The only two that we struggle with is Thrive at the minute still, which we're playing around with, trying to get it working, and Oxygen. And I don't think we're going to get it working with Oxygen, and I'm gutted because that's my favourite builder. But at the minute, it's not doing.
Okay. For those use Magic Page, discounted price. Yeah, the promotion we got today, guys, is the discounted price. This Mark hassled me for a few weeks. Said, please can give our guys banging down my door. Please can you get me in? So we thought, okay, let's just do 2 more shows, really show you guys what DMT does. We've got a promo going on now for annual price. It's a bit cheaper than what the current one is. We're going to be putting the price up of DMT probably in the next 30 days back to the original prices. So the guys that get in today will basically get the special. Once you're in and you keep it, that's your price is set. We're not going to charge you more when it comes. Once you're in, that's it. It's set for you.
Yeah, I mean, the situation where, oh, sorry, go on. I'll let you finish.
I know we'll come back to the promo at the end. I just want to get through all the SEO questions we have here. And then we can get back to the discounted prices. Brian's asking, yeah, does it make sense to build a huge site by building and adding subdomains for the areas? I always say to the guys, build one silo at a time. And if you look at Magic Page is essentially a single silo. So if your service area that you're working in is across multiple locales, you need to think to yourself, how far is these contractors going to go before it becomes out of the zone that they're working, where it's not effective anymore? Because a person can't drive 500 miles for a job, do the job, and then drive 500 miles back and then make 50 quid or $50. It just makes it doesn't make financial sense. However, if they go there for a big job and they're making a lot of money, then yes, it does make sense. So you have to take those things into account when you build it out. If you're doing lead generation, who are your service providers that you have in those areas that can actually take the leads? If you have got someone who can take those leads, then yes, create a subdomain, install WordPress, create another Magic Page installation, and then run it for that zone that person's in. And then you can have your subdomains doing specific zones around the country. Whereas you got your silo structure in the center, and then you got your geographical hot zones running around. Does it make sense? That's what I would do. But I would do it based on being able to have the leads processed.
Also, with regards to the industry, if you're building a site and it's the same country, then I'd stick with a subfolder and not a subdomain. If it's a different industry, then I'd move over to a subdomain. That way you are bringing the SEO down to the main URL rather than sharing it out underneath. So same industry subfolder, different industry subdomain is what I'd say.
Okay. Darren's asking, do you mainly add Mentorprise articles per page? With regards to content, it's a big question folk ask us all the time. If you look at Mentorprise or Content Factory or any of these types of tools, it depends on the way I see those tools. I see them as content research tools. And then my process is I'll take the article, generate it, I'll stick it into Grammarly, I'll fix it up, I'll get it all working properly how I like it, and then I'd copy and paste that into WordPress and customize according to that. So page by page, I'd build the site out with the objective of being is to drive everybody into the funnel to get leads. That's what we're doing. So with regards to content, it's the same process. It just depends on what tools you use to get you to the end result faster. My process would be Mentorprise, then it would be basically Grammarly, and then from Grammarly, it'll go into WordPress. And in that, I'll put my tokens and I'll do all that kind of stuff and the spin text and all the things I want. And then I'll take it from there. Okay, Jesse's got a question here. If you're building a national-based niche site for a client, would you find traffic for that niche with DMT, then build out the main pages? then start national. With DMT, what we do is we start at national, we start at top. We look at the top of the vertical. So we look at the market and then the market segment. So if we're looking at showers, we'll look at shower, and then we look at bathroom remodeling, then we look at the actual components that make up the shower. So if we're in the fixing market, fix shower trays, fix faucets, fix electric power showers. We can have all those type of terms. By the research we do in DMT, we can start seeing what is the language used. Are they using fix or are they using repair? And whatever has the most volume, we then take that word and we build that throughout the site structure. Then with Magic Page, once we have that all mapped out, we'll focus on all the cities that are important. Because why? We want the cities because the cities have a lot of more people. There's a lot of more showers. There's a lot more things that can be fixed. So we start there. That brings traffic and volume back into the site. And then once, like Mike said, those cities are working, we can then expand and move outward to the smaller places. On the menu drop-down locations, each city links to a different website rather than to page. I think the linking down to stuff that Mark's asking about, Mark Seeley, it depends where you want to link to. Why when you, I would capture the leads basically on the site itself. I wouldn't link out to another site to get leads. I would capture the leads right there and then. So I'm not too clear on why you want to link out to other sites. Are you trying to juice up one site and then link it out to another site to juice up another site so that they can get the links? It depends on what you're trying to do there.
Keeps making some funny noises.
I was looking at, I was reading his question because he's got a question below it. Like you want to do both, like have a menu drop down for cities that can link to city page within that menu and then link to a separate website. I wouldn't be having like loads of linking out to lots of different ones. Like I say on mine, all I do is within the context of the page for Clearwater, I will have a link which will go to my Clearwater site, but it only goes to my Clearwater site. I don't have my Largo site going to my Clearwater site, going to my Pinellas Park site, going to this site. I only have it going to that one site. I wouldn't have a full menu going to all different sites from one site. Because yes, I would think that would, it's going to bleed your site, but also it's just taking people everywhere, and it's obviously it's going to take Google everywhere.
So the user experience will be very confusing because you on one place and next to you on another place, and it tends to damage trust. I think the whole purpose of lead generation is you wanting to build trust. You wanting to pull that person off the market as fast as possible, and it's easier to say in the process of capturing that person, listen, our consultant or our agency or one of our service providers is Mr. Smith from Build It. He works that area. That's the easiest story to tell that person than it is to actually have him jumping from this site to another site. And you can do that through the email or actually the person is speaking to them on the phone. This is the consultant, or you can even have it on the page. Look, this guy's going to actually help you. Because if you look at a directory type of website, for different zones, they've got different people that provide those services, which makes absolute sense, if that makes sense. So if you're a national site, if you're doing national lead generation, it's probably spoken so much, my voice is going. It's probably better to think about like we showed you, like Mark showed you earlier. You can have specific areas that trigger specific things depending on what zone they're within. Because remember, for every installation or every subdomain, if you create a subdomain, you have to install WordPress and you have to install a Magic Page. That's 50 WordPress installations on subdomains. It becomes very heavy. It's a lot of things to back up, a lot of stuff to maintain. You got to think about your IT debt, your maintenance cost. if you have to build such a big thing out, because it's a lot of updating that you have to do to maintain that. So it's just better to really think through how you're going to build this out when you actually come to build it out. Does that make sense?
50 subdomains, you need a bloody good server if you got 50 subdomains, all with running MPP, all with the sites that are 5 pages. You're going to need a damn good server.
It's better to build domains and have isolated domains if you're doing a national campaign where the domain deals with that area that you're focusing in on, and then in the back office, in the back end, if you're using Mark's system or using any CRM, having the actual traffic that's coming in routed to the right places, the right service providers, then rather trying to have subdomains. It just will get very, very heavy, and it will end up becoming a nightmare, I think, personally. Does it make sense? Mark's asking, is there a solution for creating USA site versus 50 sites? You got to build a national site. That's what you'll have to do. With one of the test sites that we build, we used the actual silo structures to cover the whole country. And with Magic Page, Mark was saying earlier, it's better to use folders. Keith, what's your thoughts on covering the whole country?
I would do, personally, I was doing like the USA, I would do a site which only covers the major cities in the US. So that's the major cities. And then I would say pick Florida, and I would build some sites around Florida, which again sort of encompasses most of it so that the sites are overlapping, if you like.
Okay, yeah.
And then basically, because then what you build, and then these will still all be interconnected, but then what you're getting is you can get, like on my Clearwater one, I've got like in some search terms, I've got like 3 and 4 slots because my sites are all interconnected, like all overlapping. And so basically you're taking over the whole area. So you've got more chance of getting it. But trying to just dominate with one site, I mean, to me, it's not worth the hassle.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Obviously, you know, if you're building a site which is the maximum I'll go is like sort of 500 locations. I've even dropped low and started to drop lower. But 500 locations, even that is a lot of, like, you've got to have really, really good spin tact to actually get it down so that it's not going to be like constantly, Google bots are not going to slide down. Hang on, I've read this one 10 times and stop. You know, it's just going to, yeah.
That's not the only thing as well. If you build a site that covers the whole country, so let's say you've got a 5,000 or 10,000 page website, and then Google thinks, I don't like this site anymore. You're out of business, you're screwed, you've got nothing left. Whereas if you've got 40 or 50 sites and it drops one of your sites, it's like, ah, shit, I lost the site, let's build another site. So I think it's probably not a good strategy unless you're building something that's like Yell.com, which is completely genuine, and we're not just trying to create lead generation sites. Otherwise, you think you're treading on. I mean, I still do. I generate thousands and thousands and thousands of calls every single month from organic traffic, and I still do PPC. Now, the reason I still do it is because if all of my sites got taken out, I'd still be able to generate an income from the PPC side of the business. So I think you should be looking at not throwing all your eggs in one basket and trying to diversify amongst what you do to make sure that you can still pay your bills at the end of the month, type of thing.
The other thing on that,
I was going to show you guys. Sorry, Keith, I beg your pardon. Carry on.
I was going to say, it doesn't need to be Google. It could just be you get a virus on your site. You've got one site and it's covering the whole area and you're gone. Yeah. That's your money gone until you actually build up another site. Whereas you lose one site, you lose 2 sites. Just buy another one.
This site I'm showing you guys here is a 17 siloed site that we created with the video silo plugin, right? And this is where we got agencies from all over the world. We basically scraped the titles and the meta descriptions just to create this test. But this is a site that's covering multiple countries, and we've used the actual location as the silo, so United States of America. So you can see your agencies, plural, more than one, digital marketing in location, okay? What you could do is you could map out the top cities, and then the service that you're selling, you can use Magic Page as the actual service, and you focus on that. This is covering all the areas where guys are doing certain things, but the thing that you want to capture lead generation from, you then take your Magic Page and you geolocalize around that concept, and that's going to give you a nice blend. So what's cool about what we're showing you today is with the silo architecture, you can cover wider areas, but with Magic Page, you can geolocalize the actual service that you want to get the leads from. And that's something I would consider, which is light. It's not a hard build. And 2, you can still do it on one domain. But then 3, you can build out multiple domains so that your eggs aren't all in one basket. You get multiple streams of traffic coming in by doing that type of theory. But trying to do 50 Magic Pages on a site's going to be very intensive. I don't think that's a good idea. It's a great conversation. You have to think about all these things, though. This scrape site generates 30,000 impressions a month. I haven't even optimized. It's a test site that I'm showing you guys. But we're getting leads coming in for blueprints all the time off it. I think that's the last question. Let's see what else we have here. Jess is asking, can we clarify what more is a silo? A silo is essentially, if you look at this, when I drop into shower, this is a silo. It's a top level. Within the shower silo, this shower theme, we have installations, screens, heads, walk-in showers, the different types of categories. If we drop into shower screens, let's go into shower, walk-in showers. We've got shower enclosures, we've got shower enclosure sizes, and some of the other ones aren't showing yet because they probably weren't built when we made them all published. If we go to panels, there we go. There's all the different panels you can get. So that's a shower, that's a silo. Within the shower silo, we have multiple types of things. And within the things, like panels, there's the different panel types. Does that clarify what a shower silo is? Jesse? A silo is the collection of all these words. This creates the silo. It's all the shower related topics that we have underneath shower that we're targeting. Okay, so think of a silo as a container that holds the index of a book about a specific topic. Within that specific topic, it's categorized by these things. And then what it does is each category allows us to add unlimited posts. As time goes on, we can keep on adding to it if we want to. And that gives us frequency of posts, which means we're constantly staying updated, which means we get more traffic. When your site becomes static and it doesn't move and nothing gets added anymore, then you'll find that your rankings are fluctuating if it's a competitive market. Okay, perfect, she's got it. So Phil's asking, when building a silo structure, is it better to have abc.com/services, roof repair, broken tiles, or abc.com/roof repair, broken tiles? Typically, the keywords that I use in the URL architecture are the ones that have the most search. Then the ones that have secondary search volume goes into the titles and into the H tags. Then the keywords that have less search volume go into the content. We sort of stack it out that way. I'll just bring back up the notepad quickly. So in the URL, most search, highest cost per click. Same in the meta. And as soon as we get into H1s, it's the secondary, it's your synonyms, it's your related keywords, it's the ones that have less search. And then in our content, we start dropping with the lower hanging fruit, the questions, those type of things. Does that make sense? Phil? Yeah, so we're constantly stacking the language. In the URLs, most search, highest cost per click. Titles, we start adding our brand and our localizers. Get into our headlines, we've got the brand, the localizers, and the specific things that we're talking about as we're going through the structure. And before you know it, you've got a nice, big, beautiful site. It's focused, it's clear, it's targeted on the language that has the most search volume, and the collection, the collective of that silo theme is what gives you all your power. Because remember, your internal linking architecture is much more powerful than external backlinks. So when we start adding jump links onto the actual page, we're also creating more internal links on that actual page. And I cover this in the training that we have in Network Empire. But this is sort of what we're doing. And you can see we've got a great site. If a guy comes in and he's from Denniston, what page is going to get ranked? The Denniston page. This page is going to pop up first. So this is why our content templates are so important, because each page must convert the user. It must pull him off the market. And this is why we've created this hybrid system with Magic Page and with our video silo plugin, because it gives you a really, really, really strong structured website that's contextually relevant, that's thematically relevant, and it's geographically relevant. It's designed to pull the person off the market where they are at. And as you watch the videos and you start playing with the templates, you'll start seeing it's not as complex as it seems. We've shown you guys a lot today. It's been a really hardcore webinar. A lot of stuff's gone on, but it's a lot more simpler than it looks. It's much, much simpler, because when you understand that language is king and context is king and thematical relevance is king, writing your copy becomes much, much easier and simpler, because now you can tokenize and templatize your whole websites. Yeah, it's not complex at all. When you watch the videos, the basic videos, you'll actually see it's much, much simpler. It's hard to show you guys this all in a webinar and to make it all seem get it all together in 3 hours. It's hard to do it all. But when you go through the process and you follow the steps, it's much, much simpler.
Yeah, I think if you do it once or twice, it's dead easy then. But you have to do it the first times.
Sorry, we got a bit of a delay here, so I speak over you, not being rude. The last thing I want to say, guys, is look, in Network Empire, in the members area, when you come in here, every little video that you click on is short. There's 4 minutes, and we explain a specific thing to you. Let me get out of that one. Sorry. You got all these little short videos showing you how to do things, how to add a domain, how to drill. And then from there, we go down deeper into the Business SEO Pro, into the Power Core, into the Power 1 Hour. We have so much training showing you guys from different angles how to do it. And what we're going to do with Mark's videos, we have another one as well. We're going to be working, Mark's going to be working with the tool. We're going to be doing little videos as time goes on. Within the members area, we have our workups. If you get stuck, I jump on and I help you. You can see there's a lot of support with what we're doing. We want you guys to succeed. So don't feel like you're going to get chucked in the deep end and you'll never hear from us again. This is an active community. Mark, you've seen how we are at Network Empire with our students. Keith, you've been with us for a very long time as well. What's your guys' thoughts about when people get stuck? What actually happens at Network Empire if they get stuck?
Yeah, help. There's questions in there. Like I say, there's the work hub. There's other places like that. I'm not a one for Skype. I'm never getting into Skype, but I know when I've been in the Skype, there's lots going on in the Skype and things like that.
Yeah, we help you guys. We here to help you guys. So when you join us and you get involved in this whole thing, it's almost like you've got an SEO team in your side. We're there to help. And the other guys in the community that use other tools, they pop up and they say, well, we tried this and this has worked. And if you look at what we've done at Network Empire, our whole goal with this whole thing is we essentially are a collection of great minds. This is what makes Network Empire great. It's a collection of amazing people striving to change the world. If you look at Mark's Magic Page plugin, his whole focus was on lead generation for his own business. With what I've done over the last decade with training thousands of guys and building my own businesses and building my own local businesses, everything's designed to make business work. That's what I'm focused on, and I build tools to help me make my businesses stronger. And you've got access to really, really smart guys that specialize in lots of different things all the way through. There's Jeffrey Smith, the SEO specialist. There's Anand, the Facebook specialist. There's Mike, local lead generation specialist. There's Keith, who's building this and he's doing this stuff. Between all of us, we've got you guys covered. And don't try and eat the whole pie at once. Cut the slice, take a bite at a time. And you'll find as you follow the stackable system, and what we're showing you with our stackable system is you go step by step and you're building. And at the end, you end up with a beautiful website like this one over here. So if I drop into Digital Marketing Bootcamp, we walk you through. This is built based on what we got back from DMT, but it's made a beautiful website that helps people achieve their goals. And this is what we're showing you guys. And you can see there's the related topics. There's our silo structure. We're talking about digital marketing. We're talking about keyword research. We're talking about website silo architecture and how to install the plugins, how to create our bolt-on silos, how to use Digital Marketer's Toolbox. That whole silo is telling a story, right? And this is what we're teaching you guys to do, is to tell great stories using the intel we extract from our competitors who are making money within the market, utilizing the language that the audience associates and understands with. And when we do that, we build great websites that are thematically, contextually, and geographically relevant. Guys, Rome wasn't built in a day, and what's great for you guys is you're tapping into probably 10 or 15 years worth of experience when it comes to doing digital marketing and technical things online, and you guys can come straight away in and actually learn how to do it properly from the beginning. You don't have to go back all the mistakes and then come back and then make more mistakes. You just ask you guys, I'm stuck here with this tool, what do I do here? And the guys will pop in and help you. Does that answer your question for the guys who are new and are feeling a bit insecure? Obviously, if you've never set up a website before, we strongly recommend that you go to lynda.com or How to Build a Website. There's a great place showing you how to set up WordPress. We don't cater to guys that really have never built websites before. What we're doing is our tools at Network Empire for the guys that are in the game, that need to get results, that need to get leads, that need their phone to ring. And there is a learning curve if you're brand new, but the thing is, the learning curve that you're getting is going to be premium. It's not going to be just a piece of the puzzle. You're getting the full story and begin showing you how to go about doing it. Yeah, that's basically it. I can't think of much more to share with the guys. Hey, Mike, is there anything else I haven't covered?
No, I mean, basically the whole setup is designed to get results. It's not designed to say to you, oh, look, we've got a tool here that can generate 50,000 pages. How cool is that? Because more is not necessarily better. And what DMT does is enables you to create as many results as possible with the least amount of effort. Now, we did a special for this a few weeks back, and we only got a certain amount. And what I've managed to talk Matt into doing is creating another special, but he has informed me that this will be the last chance. And what he said, if we could, he said we can have up to 50 licenses.
Yeah, I think we've got like 50 slots there on this one. Yeah, because we spend so much time with the students, this is why we have to push the price up, because when the people come in, we work with you guys and we help where we can, and it takes a lot of time and cost and effort to make everything work the way it does with the tools. So what would you like to carry on with the closing off? Because I think we've shown the guys basically everything.
Yeah, I mean, basically, what's been agreed is I've managed to get him down to pretty much almost half price of what he's going to be selling it to the general public for. So you're looking at a total cost. It's under $65 a month, but you have to pay for it annually. So I think you're looking at a total price of $750. That gives you full annual access to DMT. And that, have you got a screen that shows them exactly how many credits and everything else to get? Or should I just share the link on that?
Basically, if we go to this here, for the $750 annual deal, you're basically saving $1,200 today. It locks you in for 12 months. You get DMT, you get access to our plugins, all the updates to the plugins, as long as you're subscribed. You get access to our SEO Pro training framework, our Power 1 Hour framework, our SEO Pro community support. You're basically in double credits, which is 1,680 credits. It usually is 8,400. And what we've shown you today, guys, is with very little research, we can build multiple websites, right? So it's not about drilling. It's about understanding the language and then utilizing it to maximum. And we're going to work with you to help you do that. You've got access to
Oh, go on, sorry, I thought you
Sorry?
finished.
I know we did a whole workshop, a live workshop, which you're going to get access to as well, which is in our members area. So there's a lot of great training. There's a lot of great webinars. There's support. So for $750 for the year, you guys are locked into a really great deal that will help you get to where you need to be.
When we did this last time, we got limited access again. I was very, very lucky that Matt was relaunching everything, and I managed to get in as one of the only 2 people in the world that was able to push it to people. And we didn't get a single person that's even considered a refund. So you're getting this for less than $65 a month. And when this goes to the general public and back to normal, it's going to cost $127 a month for the exact same thing. So that's the sort of deal that's being offered here today. But this is the very last one, because I know 20, 30 people have been knocking my door down saying, please get Matt to do another offer. Please get Matt to do another offer. I've managed to get him to do it, but it won't be coming again. He's pretty adamant that this is the last time he can do it, because he's got a huge network of people now, and obviously he wants to concentrate on pushing forward and giving them as much value as possible. Mary's asking, can you explain how the credits work?
Basically, Mary, the way the credits works is when we look at the flow chart, when you go through the process of using DMT, there's 2 places we actually go and fetch data. That's when we add a domain for competitive analysis, and the amount of credits used are determined by what you actually call back. So if you only want 10 keywords back, it will give you 10 credits get used. If you pull back 1,000, then it does that. The other place is when we do keyword research, and that's basically the only time credits are used. When you build your silos out, when you drill your blueprints, when you generate your DNA braid, that's all internal tools that are working there. It's not going to be consuming credits, but it's only when we fetch domains and how much you use. So how much is going to get used? It depends. It depends on what you call and what you use. But the credits they go far. Last year I used 1,500 credits. Sorry, I'm lying. 150,000. Yeah, 150,000 credits. You're getting 168,000. And you can see all the websites we built within my profile. Does that answer your question?
I've got a few people asking for the link. I've shared it. Sorry, mate. It's webinar.deals/Matt. Could you type that link into your screen somewhere, mate? Maybe on your text editor. So it's webinar.deals/MATT. Webinar.deal. I think you might have to put the http:// at the beginning, but it's webinar.deals/Matt. I did share it in the chat. I'll do it again, 1 second.
Was it HTTPS, eh?
HTTP or HTTPS, I don't know which one. I think they both work. I'll just reshare it to everybody, because I think I don't know if everyone's got it, because there's a couple of people asking. William's asked how much longer this is going to be available. Just so you know, William, there's 50 of these, so they might sell on the webinar now, or there might be some left tomorrow or the next day. I honestly don't know. We've literally managed to get Matt to do this because I keep stalking him, because loads of my guys have been asking me. So he's agreed to do this, but after this is done, it's $127 a month.
Just to finish the credits, guys, each time we make a request, depending if we're getting backlinks from SEMrush, or depending if we're getting keywords, depending if we're getting PPC, they've got different fees they charge for credits. So it can be between any of those variable numbers. But the amount's so low, if you really think about it, it's if I look at this blueprint that I built for the shower market that I'm going after, if it's cost me like $50 or $100 at the most worth of credits, that's roughly what it is. But that's one master blueprint I'm going to deploy multiple times as I go after this market to control it. The deal you guys are getting now is better than the pro annual license deal that we have at the moment. So you're getting it roughly at $62 if you work out what you're getting, whereas there you're getting 7,000 credits a month. Yeah, you're actually getting 14,000. So we basically upgrading this price. This is going to become 127, the pro, and then the credits will increase for the guys. The Guru, the business, and these other ones will stay the same, and it's just they're giving you much more per month. On the annual, the price is going to go up to basically 1,900 because this one's going to be disappearing as well. So the deal that you guys are getting today is 750, but you're getting 1,680 credits, 1680. Okay, so it's going to become 1,900. So this one's shifting down and that one's shifting down. So the deal that you guys are getting today is a super, super deal. The guys who got in last time are super lucky. They actually got the best deal of the century, I think.
Yep. I was on the monthly and I took onto it.
Yeah, Keith switched over. And Keith, you've seen that we've developed a lot. The tools being updated. There's new webinars coming out all the time. There's new videos in our frameworks training. When guys get stuck, we actually go and create videos for you to actually deal with it. So after the last launch, we created these 8 videos over here just to really get you guys fast tracked. We created process charts. We created flow charts. We walked the guys through, and then if the guys still really got stuck, we helped them on Skype or in the work hub groups over here. Okay.
Robert's asking about fixing existing site structures, old sites. He says, can we use DMT to fix the structure of old websites that have been built to fix SEO? How would you tackle something like that if one's not been built to the best?
What I would do is I would come to Digital Marketers Bootcamp over here, and I would use a method we call our bolt-on silo method. I'm going to actually throw this into the group for you guys. How to create a bolt-on silo. The whole idea of a bolt-on silo is essentially when you've got an existing silo, there's traffic on some pages. And a big mistake guys often could do is they go and they restructure everything, and then the whole site starts jumping around. It goes up and down and your traffic disappears, and then people get upset, right? What's nice about the bolt-on silo is just like we showed you where we go into appearances menu and we take the silo and we just bolt it on to the top level navigation. This is essentially what we're doing. So I'm going to grab this URL over here. I want to throw it into the group and I'll drop it for everybody. What this does, this method is, it allows us to come along and just create an architecture site. So we can have a silo and categories and even supporting articles or posts, and we can just come and connect it to the site. As this starts moving up through the rankings, which it will do, you're going to find a scenario where the old page and the new pages potentially might start competing with each other. When you get to that situation and you start seeing that the 2 pages are fighting for position, then you can do a 301 redirect from the old page or canonical to the new page. And you can say, this belongs over here within the new structure. And you can slowly start migrating the old to the new part in the structure. And when you do this, those old 301s start redirecting and juicing up the new pages. Why? Because if there's potentially backlinks on those pages, the 301 is going to push all that juice to the new place in your site. Once you've built that page out and you've made it good and you've got it within the theme and the structure and you use the DNA braid keywords that we get back from DMT, you can have a really rich page. So if you look at this one, how to create a bolt-on silo, we're talking about website silo architecture, we're talking about silo methods. We can show you what happens when it goes, it basically imports and it increases things. So check that link out. This will help you out, and that little video will actually show you how we do it. But it's the safest way to actually go about doing upgrades on old existing sites. You just basically plug this thing onto the side of the site, dish. And that's how I build my silos. When I build my silos, I build one, I publish it, I go away, I come back, I build another silo. So once we're done bootcamp, we'll start maybe talking about Instagram or website pages. Depending what we do there, we just bolt it on and then we let it go. Sam's asking, if you do not have traffic coming in, is it okay to restructure with DMT? If a page has got no traffic, it's got no worth. If it's getting no traffic at all, you're not going to break or impact anything. It's better to integrate that into a silo then, so that the site can become stronger. But anything that you do, think about what you're doing before you do it. Don't start ripping things apart, because you will make a nightmare for yourself. But if the site's getting no traffic, then it's not going to have any impact. You can only go forward. Jess is asking, how would you implement DMT and MPP for a website for a client already to previous year, but they have the original website on a different builder like Squarespace or Weebly? what you could do there, Jess, is you could essentially create a blog on a subdomain, and then on that blog, you can map out your silos. And then from the blog, you can link to original pages. So say they've got specific pages that are selling specific services, you can drive traffic and link to those pages and send the people there. That's what I would consider doing, especially if they're using a third party like Squarespace or Weebly. It's easy just to set up through DNS a subdomain and then install WordPress and then create your silo structures over there with links either going to that place or the opt-in forms capturing data for the guys. Because that's just it's a complementary site for them. And with Weebly and Squarespace, it's probably got domain authority. So the links coming from them, you can link back down to your blog subdomain and you'll inherit that juice as well. Does it make sense? Because what Weebly's got like a domain authority of like 80 or 90 or something, hasn't it?
It's definitely up there.
Yeah, it's very high. So you can inherit that domain authority. That's what I would do. Okay, I think that's about it today. I'm all spoken out.
Yeah, I was looking at my clock thinking, are we going to beat the last one? Because we did one that was 3 hours and 59 minutes and about like 7 seconds or something. I don't know exactly how long it was, but it was just under 4 hours. And I thought we might actually make it today. We might break the record, but we didn't.
Another on.
As you can see this week as well, guys, it was completely unplanned. We literally said, you know what, let's just go through what we do and how we think through it, and just let's ask everyone and do the questions. And there was no plan on trying to push the sail down your neck or anything like that. It was literally a case of, you know what, let's just make this a valuable webinar where people can learn a lot, learn how we think through it. And I think that's why it's lasted so long as well, because literally we've all just said what we thought all the way through. But I'd like to thank everybody for coming on. And nothing, if any of you get any problems or anybody wants to thingy, whether it's for Magic Page or whether it's for DMT, you can reach out to me, Keith on the group, or Matt if you're inside of DMT. And that's about it, guys. If anyone's got anything else to add before we call it a night.
No, it's been good. Thanks, Matt.
No, thanks a lot, guys, for your time. Thank you for allowing me to chat to your community. Guys, what I would say to you is what we've built at the Network Empire is a stackable system. It's a system that's clearly thought out. It's a process and a framework you can learn that's not complex to learn. It sounds scary in the beginning, but when you actually just grasp what we're doing and it's all focused around language, you'll realize very quickly that you have a very powerful system that saves you a lot of time, a lot of money, and it allows you to bolt on things like Magic Page to your framework so you can get maximum benefit from it. Yeah, and I think that's roughly what we offer you guys with Digital Marketers Toolbox. It's a tool that's designed to give you intelligence, to harvest your keywords and the stuff that's working, and to give you the intel that you need to make great decisions for when you're building your websites. And since I use DMT every single day. Every day I use it when I work. I don't play around with much of other tools anymore because I get what I need and I'm building sites. And this is where you want to be. Every site you deploy is going to get traffic, and on time it's going to be ranking, and in time those are going to create transactions. And you have to just get into the trenches and do it. If you don't do it, you're not going to build anything. So yeah, I'll look forward to meeting you all and seeing you on the inside. Guys, thank you so much. I learned more about Magic Page today as well, which I never knew before, which was great.
Wait till I get you on Lead Simplify, mate. You're going to love it.
No,
we've got another webinar planned as well, haven't we? But yes. I need to do 2 hours with you on Lead Simplify before we even think about that.
Well, I want to get this site deployed and hopefully we can integrate Lead Simplify into it.
Yep, that's exactly what that'll be the plan. So the next webinar will just include, I'll just check if we've got, did we book a date? We did, didn't we? We booked in 8th of July. So it's next month. Matt's going to finish building out the site, so you'll probably get to see where that gets up to by then. And then after that, we're going to integrate Lead Simplify, and I'm going to show him what you can do with that, because I know he still currently uses, I don't know what the tool is, he mentioned it earlier in
For Network Empire, we use Active Campaign.
Active Campaign,
gives
yeah.
access to a lot of automation and tasks in the background. So for me, for running Network Empire, Active Campaign works perfect just with the members and all that kind of stuff. But Leaf simplifies more for lead generation. It's catered to that.
If you set, once you start selling the leads, mate, there's nothing that does even close to what it does. And by the time you see it, I think we'll have I'm hoping Martin's going to be demoing it tomorrow, the new invoicing system that's going in there, just for any of the guys who use it. So that should be maybe getting demoed tomorrow night. Right, thanks everybody for being on. We're going to go because we've been on here for ages, and thank you for staying on so long. We've still got 47 people on, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just looking on the thing and it says asleep, asleep, asleep. No, it doesn't. You can't see that on webinar. Go to webinar, sorry. Right, thank you very much, guys. We're in the webinar.
Thanks, guys.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Later, guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.